Underdog Daily with the Badge Bros, John and Nez here. After a sweet weekend for the community, we had Deposit Kingdom take down 3 seats, or 4 seats if you include the head-to-head there. We got 3 winner circle guests here today. Well, we got 2 for sure, maybe a third there. Apologies for the late start. Man, I don't know what's going on. I'm so prepared. I'm all dialed, all lined up, and then as soon as I click StreamYard, it's like, can't detect your camera and mic. And it's like, yeah, you know what? We might need those. Just want to do a little lay of the land for this week and stuff like that. Doing a little traveling Friday through Monday, so there'll be no show from me on Friday. The guys will be here for Off and On the Clock there, and then Winter Circle next week will be pushed to Tuesday. There's no NBA slate tomorrow, so we're going to be doing the definitive NFL preview tomorrow. Then Wednesday we'll get back, do some hoop stuff, do kind of like a little mix and match, and then we will do Thursday paywall, primetime palooza, and NBA there behind the paywall. But I got to give some shout outs, Nez, to the community here before we hop in it all, bro. Got a bunch of sweet screenshots over the weekend there. Angelina earned her goat horns, always commenting. Chad, who hopefully finds his way onto the stream at some point later there, locks up not 1, but 2 more Dawg Bowl seats before Nez and I can even get one. The thought leader, the definitive thought leader, we're not going to call it a bank, Nez. We're not calling it a bank, but found his way to winner circle worthy prize pool there. And then where are my guys at? Hochberg, gave a shout out to Pete there, right below it there. And then Cutler for Life. Zakarian found some hoop stuff. T-Box found some hoop stuff. You and I found some hoop stuff. Just all in all, a great weekend, Nez.
Yeah, for some sports, not all sports, for your boy, but that's evergreen. That's evergreen, right? I'm still searching for that. I think I just need to swallow my pride and do exactly what Pete says in his videos and moving forward. I think that's just the
new meta.
Yeah. I mean, if only this guy, would give us exactly what he's doing in these battle royale streets, then maybe he is. I'm being told he's doing exactly that.
He is doing exactly that. Speaking of the definitive thought leader, we only got limited time for him. We got to do right by him and put him into the winner circle here, Nez. On the count of 3, I think I can handle the circle today. What do you got?
All right, I got him. All
right. You gonna count me down or what?
Yeah, 3, 2, 1.
There it is.
Pete, welcome.
Not bad.
That's great.
Pete, long time friend of the show. We got Off and On the Clock, obviously. We're not going to take it easy on you today, dude. We are going to get a hard-hitting, journalistic integrity questions. We're doing it, man. We're doing it.
From the guy who can't even turn his computer on? That's the guy who's grilling me?
Yeah, that has nothing to do with anything. First off, congrats, bro, and nice shirt.
Oh yeah, I got the scroll hat on. I mean, can we just say what a year for scrolling in the big BR? I feel like we had like one shock week, maybe 1 or 2, but man, scrolls have been smashing in like smart scrolls, not like insane scrolls.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's a good place to start there, because I'd ask you, like, we've talked about the scroll so much. You do the video every single week there. What for you this year in terms of your process has been different than even say last year, or is it just elongating the sample size?
Yeah, I think bigger sample size. Yeah, I don't know. I think I look at projections a lot more closely this year. And basically trying not to get, I think at times last year I was a little too cute with my scrolls, having like the wish casting type stuff. I'm trying to think of like a good example of a player, maybe someone like a Josh Downs type guy who it's like, oh, we really want it to happen, but like maybe there's, certain, variables there that aren't allowing him to project as well as he should. And so kind of trusting that volume and realizing there are really, really good plays there. And then obviously I'm running just extremely, extremely hot on the ones that I select, because there's generally like a basket of them, right? Like some options that you can go with. And, I'm trying to find them under 20% owned, which can really narrow it. In some weeks, there's some really good options. I honestly kind of felt, I got a lot of questions about the Geno one after DK Metcalf was ruled out. And I was kind of feeling bad about it because I didn't have a strong alternative when I made the video, like I was maybe thinking of Kyler. Maybe if I would have gone back, I would have gone with my Jordan Love call, which flopped. So I got lucky there. But yeah, I don't know. I do think I have my process streamlined, in making that video on Thursdays now really forces me to like buckle down and like review the slate from a macro a lot earlier than I think I was previously.
Yeah, no, dude, that's sweet. It's definitely showing in your results this year. Love you finding your success like this. But bodes the question, why don't we just copy your video every single week here? Nez, like, what are we doing wrong?
I don't know. I mean, I was pretty salty at the beginning of the slate. Like I thought it was London week, and he got off to a hell of a start, and then obviously gets hurt on the actual touchdown. But like seeing the way the rest of the slate played out, like it was okay. Well, that probably didn't matter because it was such a massive slate that for London to have really been a factor, clearly would have needed just to do that times 3. So from my personal experience, like having played a lot of volume on the slate, it was just kind of easy to put that behind me. But yeah, I mean, JSN, extremely sharp play. Go ahead, Pete.
No, I was just going to say too, and I kind of hit on this on the portfolio review this morning, like there's some of these slates, right, that like depending on how you were building, like some impossible landmines. I had Drake London was my highest drafted wide receiver this week too. I pulled up my exposures. I didn't have quite the dollars behind him that you did because of a lot of your Dawg Bowl stuff, but I think he was like 35%, like on a third of my rosters. And you realize like the two landmines in the 20s, right? Like Cup kind of got there, not really, but Olave and London killed teams with those scores there. And those were the comfy clicks in like round 3 and 4. Like if you started with those two running backs, and it's like, if you weren't scrolling past that, and the only reason I did is because like on that team, I pulled up the tight end to that early third round, then London and Olave are gone. And now we're scrolling and moving past that. But it's like, there's going to be those weeks where structurally it's like you just have to get lucky or do different build types where you're not always doing running back, wide receiver. You need some where you just magically get lucky and avoid the landmines.
100%.
Pete, let's talk about some of that macro stuff, because when people come on for the winner circle, usually we just like to pick what they're doing different than everybody else. But with you, you're such, prominent public figure in this space. You're sharing all your picks both between the video and the site. So when it comes to like Sunday morning, you're a notorious like late drafter in the week there. When it comes to Sunday morning, are you trying to like, hey, this is what I did in the video, this is what I said on the show, I'm hammering the shit out of Geno doubles now? Or are you like, okay, maybe I got to open my third eye to something else that I didn't see previously? Or do you feel like inherently obligated to play the plays you tell everybody else?
I definitely am always going to have the plays that I tout. But like the best way to think about it, and I know we're not allowed to say like the S word around here, but like ETR has it, or, Gumby will post his, and like a lot of times what you need to be overweight on these scrolls relative to their optimal rate isn't that many shares. And so sometimes it might be like, I really like the Geno stuff. I think I pulled it up on stream this morning. I had like 7 Geno teams, 6 JSN teams, which is like, I don't know if anyone would ever accuse me of not being like all in on my scrolls, but that's still overweight relative to how often they're hitting and just what other people are going to have. So that's the other thing too, is like, if I have a really strong stance, I think I ran like 10 different Jordan Love stacks on the morning. But yeah, I do obviously want to get in the conviction plays. I think sometimes the stuff is tough is when things kind of shift, right? Like Chase Brown, I actually kind of took you guys heard me. I was kind of like wrestling with that.
I know.
On off and on the clock, because maybe I just felt burned that like, okay, he's not even a scroll now. He's just a good pick who's going to be selected in a lot of drafts. And so stuff changes, right? Where it's like, I actually wasn't getting him. I was taking way more James Conner on Sunday morning just because he was the guy that ended up being 30% less. So yeah, I guess to answer your question, I always want to have my money where my mouth is. Like I like these plays for a reason, and I think they're good plays. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to be like ripping in 50 Jacoby Myers teams just because I said he was one of my favorite, scrolls.
Yeah. You alluded to looking at like the projections and multiple sources and stuff like that. Like what goes into the process of you making that video on Thursday? Like what's a peek behind the curtain in terms of like what you're looking to isolate in a projection or what you're looking to isolate, whatever in your process that gives you an edge?
I mean, it really is as simple. I use ETR projections for for kind of doing my first glance. And it's literally just, I look at ceiling projection relative to draft rate. And I kind of have my own stuff that looks at, just based on historical data, like, ADPs, what the draft rate is generally for those. And that's like pretty good. I actually was doing some stuff to test because now that the draft caddy in Game Syndicate has the ownership, I was comparing theirs to like the historical rates, and they were really good in that. I was surprised that the historical stuff was even better than like directionally accurate. It was like pinpoint accurate. So that makes it really easy for me on like Wednesday nights and Thursday mornings to just quickly look at those ADPs relative to projection and being like, this guy projects, super well and he's getting drafted sub 20%. And that's what I'm kind of trying to do. Like, I will say like Zay Flowers almost made the video, but I'm like, he's like 35-40% range, like a really good pick. But like, I want to give people like some sleepers. I already get comments of like, oh, this is like too popular or too shy. And so like, you're trying to show people, like, you want to give someone a unique idea, but you also want to show them you don't have to be too cute either. So it's kind of a little bit of a balance there. And I found that like 20% range is generally pretty good.
I think it's funny. I just want to say, like, I feel like John and I called this for you like years ago, or maybe like last year, where we were like, this game, like battle royales are like so perfect for like, because I think of you, Pete, like 4 years ago doing like your redacted stuff and like cranking down the like getting to the plays that were like 1% owned, or like, just the super unique plays, and just like hammering that uniqueness angle, which like I feel like was always like your jam. And then you apply it to the BRs where, okay, cool, you have your uniqueness, but like the projection, just like the whole thesis of your videos just like really kind of coming to a point here. It's just like cool, because it's like, oh yeah, like this is perfect. Like you get the uniqueness. You don't even have to get too cute with it because of the game that we're playing. I just think it makes perfect sense that you're running pure, because you're just setting yourself up to run pure, if that makes sense.
Well, you guys know it too. I mean, like I hadn't even heard the phrase scrolled out until you guys started doing it. And it's like, even last year, like I didn't start playing the battle royales like regularly, like with intent and focusing on it till the start of last year. And I had heard you guys talking about it. And I remember like being jealous 2 years ago and being like, man, these guys are having so much fun in Underdog. And I'm getting my dick picked on redacted. I'm like, I got to come over here. And so you guys like provided, and I know I'm not alone in this, like the shortcut, the roadmap of like getting caught up to speed on this stuff quickly, because there is a learning curve. And then there's the element, like it's always like the poker thing, right, John? They have the phrase where what do they say? It takes 5 minutes to learn and a lifetime to master. It's like understanding the concepts of scrolling down and stuff like that, like 5 minutes to learn. Like you can wrap your head around that, but then calibrating it, like you're saying, Nez, like doing these drafts over and over, seeing what wins, seeing also if you're playing high volume. And the one thing I will say, like I am always going to have way more swingy variance, I think, how I play the big BR than like maybe a lot of like the crushers in the Discord and the 150 maxers and the guys who are maybe even better at building like RO, lineups that, S well, stuff like that. Like I'm always, just the way I build, I'm willing to take on, I think, more flops in my portfolio with those. Like, trust me, you want to go look through my dead Jordan Love stacks. Like I'm going to have a batch of those. And I'm okay, I guess, like not being a min cash merchant, just hoping I can get one of those lineups up to the top 10. And that's going to burn me a lot of weeks. Like I'm going to have a lot more weeks where like I feel like shit. But man, being able to have a unique lineup, just charging the leaderboard with no one on it is a pretty euphoric feeling.
I think that's a old school notion there, Pete, that goes back to the redacted days of like almost like stars and scrubs, not within a lineup, but stars and scrubs throughout a season rather, and treating like your ceilings have to just outweigh your floors throughout the entirety of a season, knowing that you're going to play every single week.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, and that's really how I've been playing it. Like, when I do those videos, and like, the first 3 picks are generally just the best plays. And like in that video, I got the slight Derrick Henry fall. So I was able to do the Derrick Henry Kamara. And then like I knew I was double stacking the thing. So I'm like, all right, my 3rd round pick literally has to be a tight end. I've already mapped this out. And I do think that's one thing I like to preach is like going in with some ideas, because it will force you to unnatural roster constructions that you wouldn't normally do, because you might just be like, man, I love Njoku this week, or I love blah, blah, blah. I'm going to have him like every time for me in the 4th or 5th. Like, why would I do it? But then it goes back to that landmine thing, where if you just put yourself in some like different, I don't know, paths of the draft board on a given week, it can help you, I think, vary the textures of your teams in a way that helps you avoid like huge downside risk if just like the one guy or the one angle you have goes downhill.
Nice. Yeah. Forgive me, I didn't see the portfolio review, West Coast morning problems here, but just total exposures and stuff like that, Pete. You're talking about the volatility of your own portfolio. How much volume did he play this week? How many contests? What's kind of your thresholds for variance in terms of total exposure?
Yeah, so I haven't felt the obligation to max the big BR. I think I've only maxed it 1 week, maybe 2 weeks. Okay. This week I was at 100 entries, but I mentioned this on the portfolio review. This was the 2nd team I drafted all week. The first one I drafted on the portfolio review. This was the first video one I drafted on stream on Thursday. So I drafted the one Monday, then this was number 2. And then all of the others between Thursday afternoon and Sunday morning. I literally could have just logged out of the app.
Bro. Yeah.
Dude, I won one pick'em yesterday, and it was the one I built for the video. I literally on Thursday should have shipped that video off to the editor and just logged the fuck out, gone and touched the roses, and I would have no, but yeah, like the volume stuff is real. I had if you want to do the if I had 100 lineups, I would have won 2. I had like $1,800 in play and drafts, max to bomb, the fullback dive, pretty much all of the stuff. I autoed like 50 Wildcats. I had 15 bullets in the Dawg Bowl. So I had a pretty big volume day for me. And I showed it on the portfolio review. Like I would have taken an absolute bath yesterday if not for this roster. Like I got slaughtered, man. Like I was feeling so shitty yesterday, and I was like mad at myself. I was hungover from After Dark with Dave. We were having such a good time. John, you and I were in those bombs on Sunday morning. Yeah. I autoed a few of those picks. I registered for 5 bombs at once, and then was like multitasking and auto. And I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing, man? Like I was so mad at myself yesterday.
I'm just punting right now.
I couldn't even work out. I normally show you guys. I did my workout thing at 1. I went into the gym. I felt like I wanted to throw up, and I just went inside and ordered 5 Guys DoorDash. Like I was having a bad day.
What a caloric swing right there. Holy shit.
Bad day. And then this just comes out of nowhere and saves me.
Oh, that's great, dude. I love the realism of it. Like I love the authentic realism angle of it. Can you tell me, I know you got to run here, Pete, but can you tell me what went into the sweat? Like, did you sit down and watch the afternoon games there? Famously a sauna sweat guy, used to have the tilt space there and stuff like that. What's the Sunday routine look like now?
Yeah, so I do have my normal routine, which is normally go work out, eat a healthier lunch, watch the rest of the 4 p.m. games. Lauren covers for me, and then I take over for April, like right as the 4 p.m. games are starting. So I was watching April. We bundled up. We're outside playing and stuff. I thought I was pretty dead, so I wasn't even like checking my phone much. And then we came in for dinner, and I saw that game was starting to cook and that JSN had that touchdown. I was like, all right. I was like, let me just scroll through my BR teams, because I knew I drafted that a handful of times. And I did spot that one lineup. And I was like, oh, this has Zay, this has Henry, this has Kamara. Bauer, lucked out. I was like, it was still though like 30 points out of being like T10. So I'm just like, all right. But it was in the back of my head. And so then we're watching some of that third quarter, and JSN's having a few big plays again, and Gino throws that other one to lock it. And I was like, okay, like this thing, like with a Hail Mary, like is in striking distance. And so I got kind of invested in the sweat as we were like wrapping up dinner. But then Gino threw that interception right from like the 7-yard line. And I just ejected from the sweat. I'm like, because I was like, I need that touchdown there. I need that passing touchdown to be in striking distance. This game is dwindling. How many opportunities? So I ejected from it, and I was like, Lauren, you chill. I got dad duty. Did the bath, reading April her stories, and Lauren knew about the sweat, and she texts me, and I get it on my phone, and it just says number 11 touchdown. And I was like, there's no goddamn way. I was like, they had just punted the ball or gotten the ball back. There's a minute 30. There's no fucking way they scored a touchdown. And Des was joking on the portfolio review that I sped read the final book to April, drop her in the crib and say, all right, good night, babe.
2X.
I gotta go. I gotta go watch overtime.
I mean, good for April, because I normally listen to my Pete at 2x speed too. So
that's how you know her dad. That's so funny. I just love the number 11 TD, like just like the plainness of that text, just like something about the delivery of that, just like seriously cracks me up, because like she's not going to say Jackson Smith and Jigba. She's number 11.
So so then I come downstairs after putting April to bed, and it's literally they're doing the coin toss. So I'm buckled in, they win the toss, and then there's that big play, and there's 2 flags down on the field, and you guys know that feeling. You just get sick to your stomach, because I'm like, JSN just had like another 30-yard catch. I'm like, this is going to put me like, I think I was in like 7th place at the time, maybe 4th with, I don't know, the live scoring was updated. It was real swingy. And they say both on the defense declined, and Lauren was like looking at me like a maniac, because I was literally just going, holy fucking shit, holy shit, holy shit. Because I'm like, we're still driving, and I'm either in first or second right now. And at that point, I think I didn't tilt at all, like not getting first. I was just so flabbergasted that this team had gotten there that I honestly had like zero tilt, maybe for like a microsecond when Kenneth Walker got stuffed on that 4th and 1. And I was like, can I get like a little play action, like dump off TD, anything from Gino here? And then I just immediately let it go. I'm like, Hawkberg's awesome, incredible team. This team should have been dead on arrival. I am not tilting whatsoever. This is too good to be true.
That is low key the best sweat on the app in my experience as well. Where you are the trailing team, where only good is happening and you're pushing up, and it's so easy not to, I mean, not easy. There's definitely fractions of fantasy points between first and second that you're like, damn it, if that goes my way. But those are the ones that are the least hard to tilt, in my opinion, because you're just like so thankful that you went from like 30th to second, and now it's just over and it's clean, and it was the last game of the slate, and there's nothing more to it.
Pete mentioned it, that like charging is just like indescribably better feeling than like holding, because like, oh my god, there's just I'm getting anxiety just even thinking about holding a team. Like I hate whenever it's hoops and like I start off with a big number, like this sucks, like because now I gotta like watch it dwindle. I'd much rather start low and then like only up from there.
And I mentioned this on the portfolio review, but because I didn't get to see that game tying drive. And so late last night, Sunday Night Football's wrapping up. I'm writing the Fantasy Life newsletter column, and I'm like, I got to go back and watch this. And so I pulled it up like on my YouTube TV and watched that drive. And I was again, like just shocked. I'm like, this touchdown never should have happened. That throw to fucking Kobe White on the sideline on like 2-second and infinity that he caught and got the 2 feet down. I'm like, this had like another sack and a punt, or like whatever written all over it. Yeah. And then the 4th and 5 conversion, JSN just tough as nails, making 2 good catches. I'm like, this never should have happened.
Oh, love it, man. So happy for you, Pete. Love it, bro. So happy that it happened with your guy, JSN. Are we officially unstuck on JSN with this win?
I mean, I am, because even as much as I had him in Best Ball Mania, 20,000 is definitely more than I had on him. So yes, I get to firmly say I am in the green on JSN.
Oh, that's good, dude. Been seeing you in the hoop streets recently. We're gonna do the hoop stuff after this. Are you gonna mix in some hoops tonight?
Oh yeah.
He's feeling it.
No, I was excited. I said this. I was chatting with Mike, and the one thing I don't like about hoops is I get sucked into late night sweats. And before hoops, I was so good. I've been going to bed early. Like I have my football nights, right? Like Sunday night, Monday Night Football. I write the newsletter late, so I stay up for those games. Thursday, we have the Shipcast. Saturdays, I do After Dark. Fucking Fridays, I watch a nose strip stream, So like that's already 4 nights. So I need to get my sleep on those other nights. And then it's like Wednesday night. Oh, big hoop slate. Now I'm staying up till 12:30.
10:30,
When I
the
saw
last tip. Like,
I just like, get the hell out of here. So then I saw the split slate and I was like, oh, I'm the early slate guy. I get to play that one. I'm going to ignore the second one. And we're going to play the first slate tonight.
All right. Love it, man. So I'll play the late slate then. You can run hot in the early one. Oh man, you guys are starting to see, that was a long-winded way of starting to see the peaks of West Coast living here, gents.
I'm aware. I'm jealous. There's nothing I can do about it. I am tied to this abode. I'm locked in.
Yeah,
I can say that, right? I can say it's a lock that I'm in here.
Yeah. Pete, you got a dip here?
Yeah, I got a dip. Yeah, go ahead.
I got to ask you, we're going to put together a pick'em for Monday night. I know you did some stuff on
I was just going to give you one.
Okay, perfect. Okay, we're in the same wavelength there. We'll come back to Hochberg's lineup here in a second. Let's start in the lobby. What do you got?
Yeah, so I did a few. I got some CLV on it because we did Xavier Worthy at 39.5, and it's now up to 43.5. But I'm going to give you a new one because I was just doing some research. I was reading the quick slant from Matt Irby and kind of going through them. And Nez always loves these rivals. I like Patrick Mahomes over Baker Mayfield fantasy point rivals. The Chiefs have been so good, and this is actually a really good on defense. And this is a really good matchup for the passing game for the Chiefs. And there's like a 5-point projection gap on ETR for these two. And it's only you're spotting him 2.5, which normally if you go through these rivals, getting more than like 1 point is like pretty big. So getting 2.5 here is pretty big. And I just like the angles of the Chiefs passing game. So then I was doing it with Kelsey, like higher than 6.5 receptions, the Xavier Worthy stuff, kind of mixing and matching. But yeah, I like this Mahomes rival.
All right, love it. So if we go Mahomes rival, what would you take from the Tampa Bay side then? It'd be something Bucky Irving related?
So I did, I really like the Rachaad White receptions. That's been like a go-to for all three of us this year. They juiced the 3.5 down, but the 4.5 is still a 1.49x. So I like taking that to 1.49 for the 5 receptions. Okay. It's really hard to run on the Chiefs. And I know Bucky Irving still has this toe thing. He's fine. He's going to play through it. But man, Nez, isn't this like another Rachaad White check down second half game?
It's the only thing that they really have going for them, right? I mean, it just it makes perfect sense to me.
And then the Kelsey, I really want them to put up targets, but I did a slide on receptions 5.5 up to 6.5. It's a really good spot for the entire passing game. And Kelsey is the only one that's, you still have to do kind of a leap of faith with Worthy, with Hopkins, but Kelsey's so locked in. So yeah, I love this one here. And the other one I was messing with that I didn't do on stream was Cade Otton receptions, because I really think it's going to be Rachaad and Cade are the guys who can scam. Yeah.
Yeah, that 5.5. And neither of those then negatively correlate because we still got Mahomes going over. We cool with a 4 pick 'em there?
Because of the slides, I didn't mind how those odds worked. we got a pretty juicy multiplier on this thing. 17. Yeah. We're getting, I think, an extra bump up as well because we're saying Mahomes is going to outscore Baker. So I think because of like that angle paired with like these receptions, it actually does give us an extra little increase. So yeah, I'm gonna play this, and I've been doing this thing too. Davis kind of put me on. Anytime Davis gives you some strategy, you gotta tail it. Is doing the same pick'em twice and then just like doing one as a flex, just in case, just in case, little extra, because I can't do straight flex.
Adding on like a touchdown one, and you went the other way, throw it on the condom.
No. You do one with a condom. It's a great feeling, guys. It's actually fun.
Dude, that's hilarious. That's like, I mean, shout out to us almost for the directionally accurate on off and on the clock there with the Raiders Bengals game. And then we played it both ways, and Jamar didn't get home in both of them. So we went 4 for 5 on them, and Chase Brown scores on the one, but then we don't get the yardage on the Chase one and vice versa. Yeah.
See, imagine.
Yeah. I got to run. Appreciate you guys. Looking forward to off and on the clock, and I'll be tuning in for the hoop segment in a little bit. So
there we go.
I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
All right. Appreciate Pete.
Thanks, Pete. Also, Johnny, they probably didn't take off the receptions. The sharing of sliding picks just does not share well. So that's why it's still in the lobby. It just doesn't share well.
You also spelled K to Otten wrong, so check your spelling when you typed it in too.
Type it in OTTEN. They're gone. They're all gone. They rugged us.
All right, Nez. Let's move on with the program here. Do us a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, notification bell, all that fun stuff. We have another inductee to the winner's circle in the most contrarian fashion in which we have seen a Dawg Bowl seat get won ever in its history. Really good player on the site here, Nez. Before we bring him on, I have to remind everybody, tomorrow there is maintenance on the app. I was going to lead the show with it. My show notes went down when I, crashed my own computer and all this BS. But there is maintenance on the app tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern to undefined time. So we will try our best. We're going to do our show still 2 p.m. Eastern, blah, blah, blah. We will do the definitive preview, and then hopefully the BR stuff will be up by then. We don't know what time the maintenance is going to be finished at, but there's no hoops tomorrow. I doubt there's going to be any puck slate unless the maintenance gets done really early. But just be aware, guys, tomorrow, a little bit of maintenance going down on the app. And then as soon as maintenance is done, then the football stuff will be up for week 10. So hopefully that coincides with our show. Anything else to add there?
No, just good to know. Yeah, we're not like losing contests or anything. It's just prep for maintenance, and I imagine we're gonna see it's gonna be business as usual once that's all finished. So just an FYI for you guys.
Yeah, I'm down bad when I got down to the last Gatorades are now the orange ones. Down so bad with this pack.
Saving the best for last. Okay.
Oh, gross, dude! You're an orange guy. Ugh.
Yeah, of course.
All right, Nez, this is our first time meeting a very talented player on the site. He has a football win under his belt this year. He has an 8K basketball win under his belt this year. And now he's got a Dawg Bowl seat after taking down the head-to-head versus friend of the show, Krutches. There, Nez, on 1, 2, 3. I got the circle.
You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
There we go.
Hey.
How's it going? First time, long time.
There we go, bro. Welcome on. Thanks
for having me.
This is the Hot Sauce, aka the HotSizauce. What's going on, my friend?
Not much. Just working from home today. Another
nice
day. Half on the Dog app, half saving the world.
Love it.
Is what it is.
Tell your boss to watch their mouth the way they're talking to you, man. After you got that Dawg Bowl seat locked up, they better watch their tone with you, man.
Yeah, definitely. If Bitcoin goes up anymore too, it could be a joker for the office.
There we go, man. Yeah, so mad respect, dude. A screen name, nice to put a face to the screen name here, because a screen name that we have feared and respected in the lobbies for a long time, bro. So nice to meet you finally here, and looking forward to Dallas. Where do you reside right now? Is Dallas going to be a big trip for you?
Not too far. I'm currently in Tampa, Florida. So I've been down here for about 4 years now. Moved down from DC during COVID to kind of get away from all the politics that's back in the news tomorrow or so. Yeah, it'll be my first time in Dallas in probably like 4 or 5 years. I had some friends that went to SMU, so hung out there every once in a while, but haven't been in a while. So excited to see what it's all about.
Beautiful, man. Yeah, looking forward to that. It'll definitely be a party. It'll definitely be fun to be drafting and stuff. You got yourself an opportunity at $200,000. Is that one sunk in yet?
No, not at all. I was not counting any chickens with the head-to-head against Krutches. So, I told him that hopefully both of us would get a seat before we did our head-to-head, and luckily we did. So, just thanking the fantasy football gods for that one.
Yeah, so crazy reset for everyone here. If two players tie with the exact same score, it goes to a head-to-head the following week for the seat. So what happened in week 8 was you guys tied for third place, you and the aforementioned Krutches, and then you guys had a 1v1 draft on Saturday night, I believe?
Yeah, Saturday on a Peach stream.
Yep.
So I was watching, didn't want to give myself away. I was trying to grind out literally any edge that I could. So I bought a membership to Pete's stream like 2 hours before.
Oh
Just
my
kind of
God. He
stayed
wasn't
quiet.
sure. He wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, he wasn't sure, and I wasn't gonna say anything. I was like thinking about commenting, but no, I was just like, I'm just gonna try and see if I can
love
pick
it.
up literally anything.
Okay.
But no, Krutches wouldn't give away anything. I was, coming through a certain subset of a Discord that should not be named, but Krutches was posting some drafts in there, and I noticed that he was picking Kyron fourth, so that was kind of a little bit of interesting knowledge that he was giving away. But other than that, it was a pretty clean fight, I think.
Yeah, no
But yeah,
doubt.
I was just trying to pick up any edge I could.
Okay, so what goes into the head-to-head sweat there? You're obviously playing, the whole entire weekend and stuff like that, but how was it prepping for the head-to-head that was different? Were you specifically like, yo, if he does X, I do Y, or was there none of that? It was just like jam my favorite highest projected plays. Like, what was the meta?
So I thought about it a lot in the shower, and unfortunately, it kind of like changed the way that I played this entire week. Of course, because I was picking Saquon and in a few spots more than when I would normally taking Kyron. But I knew that CD was probably going to go 1-1, and then the decision from there was, I guess, do you double up on running back with Kamara, and then I guess it would have been Saquon. Kyron was looking pretty decent. He's scored in a bunch of straight games and felt like a pretty good floor. So like I personally was debating going Kyron there, but just knowing that New Orleans had a few guess corners out, so I was thinking Kamara could be in for a pretty good game there and had a pretty safe floor as well. So Jam, Chase, and Kamara. Then I kind of just let him have that decision of what other running back he wanted. He doubled up on running back, and as soon as he took Saquon, I was like, all right, I'm going to take Hurts. Hurts was the QB that I took in the Dawg Bowl the last week, so it was a little bit of a vibes based, like dance with the girl that you brought to it, and then I wanted to give him the decision of the wide receiver. Because so after Lamb and Chase, it was pretty open between Hurts, Tyreek, Neighbors, Amon-Ra, whatever. He ended up going Tyreek, which was kind of what I wanted. I knew that the matchup against Buffalo, he hadn't really succeeded in that previously. So I thought the ceiling was a little bit not as high as Neighbors or Amon-Ra, but then the weather in the Green Bay game kind of spooked me a little bit, and I'm a Giants fan, so similarly to my earlier statements, like you gotta go with the ones that you can root for and brought you there. So I was set on Neighbors, and then at that point he'd already taken 2 running backs, so I was like, Brock Bowers, McBride, it's pretty much equal, but I wanted that decision in my hands rather than him choosing it. So at the 3-4, I went Hurts and Bowers there.
Nice, dude. Yeah, very clean, well thought through here. Made sure you didn't double up the flex as soon as he took the 2 running backs, knowing that running back could be your last pick there. I got to ask you, the Hurts versus Barkley, was that like a plan going into it, like between those two, like just the fact that the touchdown scoring with those two would probably negatively correlate, that you would just pick one or the other? Or was there thoughts of stacking, thoughts of because the interesting wrinkle that we talked about on the show last week was if someone takes Hurts, well then are you more or less likely inclined to take Barkley or AJ Brown? So how did that play into just you mentally?
I thought about that for like 5 days, and kind of the split decision came down to me overhearing like Dave on Pete's stream being like, it's a very interesting decision. Saquon, Hurts, like, what do we go? What are you going to do here? So personally, I decided that Hurts was the late game, and I really didn't want to have a complete no sweat there. And just knowing that there was some sort of positive correlation between Hurts throwing Saquon the ball, he's done it, for touchdowns at least. He's done it in 2 or 3 games prior. So just seeing that, I just decided I'm going to go with Hurts and, take the good floor. Jacksonville plays a ton of man defense, and just knowing that Hurts is going to have the ability to scramble. And he did that for like a pretty, significant like amount of times for, 7 to 9 yards, and that kind of adds up. So all of that kind of jumbled in together. That's what led me to Hurts.
Love it, man. Yeah, mad respect. Great team. Well played by both of you guys. Glad you guys both ended up earning a Dawg Bowl seat, and it wasn't a binary outcome here, but mad respect to you for taking it down in this capacity. Let's talk about macro and the site just in general. Like, we see you kind of in everything. Are you doing this kind of as a part-time gig right now? Are you doing max volume hoops each night, max volume Dawg Bowl each week? What's your process like?
Yeah, I got into the daily streaks. I'd say last October. I was playing Call of Duty a lot, and it kind of pissed me off. So I was looking as another outlet that I could, sweat the games. And I've been, sports betting since I was like 10 years old. So I understand sort of like generally how lines move, what the total and how that affects all the projections and whatnot. Played the season-long games that did some BBM, a couple of years ago, but didn't really get into the daily streets. And then just took some of the principles that I've been learning through like reps in BBM and apply that to the dailies. I think there's a lot of folks that have come on your show over the last year and have revealed a little too much about their process, which has helped me kind of refine and tweak my process. I'd say on the NBA side, wasn't doing too hot for, the first 2 weeks. And then you kind of understand what wins and, what gets duped pretty often. Some people just, plug in ETR. Some people will mix and match. So it's just learning to, be a little bit different and, your own vibes, I guess, in this environment can kind of be an advantage, which is kind of different than some other sports. Like in sports gambling, you want to be very CLV focused, but like sometimes depending on the slate, CLV, you can just kind of throw it in the trash can. So it's just dealing with the swings. I play a lot of volume on the hoop side. On the Dawg Bowl side, normally doing like 25 to 40 a week. So trying to do, just enough that would keep me close to the leaderboards, hopefully, and then luck out. But, props to those doing the 150 in the Dawg Bowls. That's just a little too much. I max a sprint, and looking at my 23% Rashi Rice for 2,500, that's just lit on fire. I don't know if I could do that every week.
That's rough, man.
Yeah.
That's rough. I mean, we always talk about it, it's just one slate, but like that's brutal. And I mean, that's just obviously one name in the laundry list of awful wide receiver run-ups that we've had. I wanted to ask you, now that you've got your seat locked up, are any intentions to ramp up the volume at all in Dawg Bowl now that you got one locked in, knowing you have access to win a bunch more money? Any willingness to step up the volume for the next 3 qualifiers? Because I think there's only 3 left, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot for probably like 50 to 100 over the next couple of weeks.
Nice.
Just this week, I was kind of solely focused on trying to win the head-to-head. So wasn't able to really focus on the Dawg Bowl too much. I think it'll be interesting that it's opening up on a Wednesday. Kind of creates a completely like different environment for people. You've had 2 folks who already, have 3 seats combined. So there goes 300 entries. I've been playing it kind of contrary to what I thought other people would be doing. They kind of max earlier. So I've been trying to ramp up my volume and kind of catch maybe any potential overlay, but we've yet to see that. So I don't know. I think this slate, I haven't really looked too far into it, but it should be pretty interesting given, ETR will be out, 6 hours, 12 hours after Dawg Bowl release. So it's only 5%, 10% of the drafts that won't be affected by a big mover in ADP.
Yeah, very different dynamic this week. That's a good shout. I hadn't even thought through that just yet because we were going to do the preview tomorrow. I got to ask you, my man, how many hoops we playing tonight, and what are we liking on the hoop slate tonight?
Ooh, going to try and max tonight. I got the the email of Diamond for the first time for the rakeback program
Well done.
in a while. So it was good to see that. I got to keep that train rolling. But yeah, I guess the decision comes down to, do you think Giannis is playing? And then where do you go from there, right? So
Yep. What side
I've
of the
had
fence you
Tatum
on?
too. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very
Tatum
nice.
too, pushing up Dame. And I've seen you taking Ja over Dame at least.
I was, yeah.
Or maybe it's your robots.
Yeah.
So I think all that kind of adds in. It's another element that people don't talk about, but certain players have their own projections and sites, and once you can kind of figure out who people are taking, you can, if you're a hand drafter, bro, really maximize on some of that stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a big thing that Nick talked about last year and a little bit when he was on the show previously this year as a renowned. Actually, I'm wearing my Hand Builders shirt today. Shout out to our guy Car Park, the dirty hands, clean money. There we go. Hand Builders unite. No, it's a really good wrinkle and dynamic, especially as the auto drafters become more and more prevalent, especially in NBA, that okay, if John has this set of rankings in, he's in 10 of my drafts right now. Oh, he's taking Ja, he's passing on Lillard, he's taking a stand that Giannis is going to play tonight. Okay, maybe I can push Lillard a little bit to get some CLV in the second round kind of deal. Yeah, it's a really good shout.
Yeah, I use the unabated screen. They have like free odds, and I kind of have a ultra wide monitor up there, so I'm always looking at the Underdog news, and then seeing does it hit the screen, kind of trying to predict injuries and whatnot. But it's fun. It's just something for me to do while doing my real job on the side.
Love it. What's your real job? Do you care to disclose?
Yeah, I don't think anybody, hopefully from my industry, is gonna out me if they do see me. But I work in multifamily finance, so people that are trying to either buy or refinance apartment buildings, they'll work with some of our partners, and I kind of deal with the loan side of it. So I'll work with pricing, and it's all kind of related in a weird way to all this. It's really just kind of opportunity cost and trying to see if you can get the best of it. So yeah, it's a good job. It pays well. It does enough for me to afford 5-figure swings on a daily or a weekly basis. So
nice.
Yeah, it's all right, and hopefully they don't see this and find out how much volume I'm playing on the Dawg app.
Hey, I mean, all you gotta
man.
tell them is that, like with hoops, you can you're just mass entering. Obviously, I mean, they draft themselves. You're just creating the good ranks, so you're good. It takes very little time to max the hoop slate. So I got you, man. I'll break it down for him.
Thanks. I appreciate that. My boss is fortunate that I got him into Bitcoin and ETH. Couple years back, so I think I have a little bit of wiggle room to play some fantasy sports here or there.
There we go. Crypto bros and success on the Dawg app right there, baby. There. That's the handshake agreement. HotSizauce, man, appreciate you doing this. Look forward to hanging out with you in Dallas. Any parting words for the people? Anything you want to say and or ask us before we bring on our next guest?
Don't be afraid to get weird. The wise words of Dave Kitchen: live a little. Sometimes, you're the one clicking the buttons. Don't let the projections tell you what to do all the time.
Love it. That's such a good line. Don't let the projections tell you what to do all the time. Respect it, man. Mad respect, dude. Best of luck tonight. Best of luck this weekend. Appreciate you being here.
Appreciate you guys. Yeah.
Peace, bro.
Thanks, bro.
Nez, we got one final guest here today. Oh, almost spoiled it.
Preview.
Just there. Oh, a little preview there. Nez, I'm gonna you count it down for me.
All right, you good?
I got it.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
There it is.
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome back, Chad. Welcome back, dude. We got to do it not one time, but 2 times there. We got to add 2 more seats to your total, making you the second or third person who is now fully maxed.
I think just second. I think it's draft, right?
Yeah, you and Giraffe. Incredible, dude. Yeah, mad respect to you. Obviously, everybody knows you for a long time in the Discord, making the hashtag sheets for us for so long there. We met at the Dawg Bowl last year. Very happy for you finding such success on this app, bro. Congrats on 2 more seats to the Dawg Bowl.
I appreciate it, man. It was insane yesterday. Like it was a fun day, but man, it was unique compared to the other ones because the other 2 seats that I've got, like last year in week 1, it was 3rd place, and I was just barely like eking my way in there. So it was a different story this time. So
yeah, so you had a very crazy sweat, right? Because obviously you won 2 seats, and 4 p.m. game starts, and you're thinking, I mean, let's be real. You're thinking you got that in the bag. You're sitting in 1st place. You have Saquon. It's in the bag. And then this Rams game gets so nutty that you have to think for a split second, like, oh shit, am I about to lose this locked in seat? Like, I'm sure it was in the back of your head because like I was already like in your DMs, like, yo, bro, congrats. And now like, oh shit.
Oh, you almost mushed it. You were almost the guy, Nez.
I'm the king of mush, dude.
there were a couple of you guys, and I'm like, I don't like taking the congratulations early. I'm like, I gotta
no
go
premature congratulations, boys. We've been around long enough to know no premature congratulations.
I mean, you saw the team. I thought there was no shot.
The only good news was I had part of that Seattle game because my other team had JSN. So I'm like, even if that one gets mushed, I'm probably still making it with this other one. So that was like the one saving grace on that. So, but yeah, that first team, once Saquon got that touchdown early in that the Philly game, I'm like, I didn't know how it wouldn't get there. Essentially, like it had a 25-point lead, give or take, and still had Saquon running. So.
What an alpha play, dude. The Joe Burrow, Mike Gesicki skinny stack there. Saquon Barkley, Devin A. Chan, Zay Flowers, and Cedric Tillman just jam all the best plays into one lineup. Chad, what's good, man, with your volume recently? You said you were maybe not going to chase a second seat as hard, and you just lied to our faces, and you went all in on it.
That did not happen. But I mean, I was always every week under 100, so I never got to the max. So I've been sitting roughly 70 to 80, give or take a week. So it's been good amount of volume, but I've never gotten maxed on it. So I know there have been a few, but I'm in there grinding usually from draft 1 till throughout the week. So it's fun to see how things change too, from the early week drafts to, I mean, ETR is the big mover, right? We all know that at this point. So seeing how it all moves throughout the week and then trying to pay attention to some of that and put some of the movement together to create kind of my own rankings based off of where everyone has been going and now where they are going with the change too. So like
nice.
This one was drafted Sunday morning because I know for a fact I didn't have much Gesicki and I wanted more of him. This is one of only 3 Gesicki teams I had. So
ooh, wow. Very nice.
And it all came together right with this one. So Tillman had, after the ETR rankings got released, Tillman started moving down. So he's the one who fell to the 5th round for me here. Flowers, I liked it, the play, but I was IKBing it a little bit, thinking that ETR had him too high. So I got a little lucky to get him on this one. So.
Nice, dude. Very intelligently constructed team here. I got to ask you, the 1-2-2-1s, has that been a staple of you in the Dawg Bowl recently, or you just take what you have ranked as best available as you go?
Generally, it's going to break out with a 1-2-2-1, just with how I do it. The running backs do get pushed up. I should probably put data to it because I'm the data guy, right? But probably like 15%, give or take, I'll go the 1-3-1. So, and never 2 tight ends. So whatever I do, I'm avoiding 2 tight ends. If you see me take 2 tight ends in a lobby, I autoed one of them. So okay. I promise you that.
That's pretty good. Easy. I don't really want to ask you this because it kind of puts a little salt in the wounds a little bit here, but you've been primarily focused on the Dawg Bowl, we know, this year, but just the power in scrolling and get different here is this team would have won the Battle Royale as well by 8 points, which is an anomaly on most weeks because the 12-person teams tend to be lower scoring than the 6 persons there. But did you put, is there any part of your process where you're like, okay, I did this on the BR here, or I did this on Dawg Bowl here, now I'm going to put it into Bomb, or I'm going to put it in whatever. Is there any overlap like that for you?
No, I mean, I did 3 non-Dawg Bowl drafts this week. So it's so exploitative. It is the dumb thing to do with your bankroll, all those reasons to not do it. But for me, it's time. I only have so much time to do it, and I hand build everything. I won't auto for football at all. So I just concentrate on the Dawg Bowl, essentially. Now I'll have to find something else to do for the next 3 weeks. But I love the 12-person drafts too. Like, honestly, the 12-person, I'm waiting for that goal line stand to come back. So,
hopefully,
you and me both.
We were talking about it as as soon as the Dawg Bowl is completed and stuff, that there's definitely going to be an itch for maybe keeping this same price point, redefining the structure, and making it just a 12-person confined tournament every week. I think there's definitely some thirst for that.
I would love that. But to your question about like putting this in, I remember you talking about that last year, doing some of these Dawg Bowl drafts or the 12-person drafts and then just throwing it in the 6-mans. I didn't even realize that this would have won the BR until Pete's portfolio review. And then I'm like, dang, this would have won the BR. And then my one in second would have got second in the BR. It would have just barely edged out Pete. So I was like, oh my God.
Oh, wow. That's so sick. Let's look at the second place team here as well. This was a Joe Burrow, but to Chase Brown. So was that part of your plan this week, was to find contrarian ways to stack Joe Burrow because he was going with, Jamar Chase every single time, or did this just kind of happen?
It just happened. Burrow was my second most owned quarterback behind Lamar. Okay. So like I had a fair amount of him, and I'll stack it any which way. I know week 1 I had Jaden where I didn't stack him at all. And I like running naked QB in the 12-mans, but with Burrow you have to stack essentially. So finding a different way is nice because there's just going to be a ton of Burrow Chase for sure. So I did not mind doing it. Saquon and Burrow were the two that made appearances on both of these teams. And I was essentially at 9-10% for both of them. So I had a decent chunk because 8% field, but it's not like I was exploitative on it. It just came together, and that's part of the volume play for sure. So
nice. I love the context associated with that because I love how genuinely honest everyone is when they come on these shows and stuff like that. Is like, man, there is some element of luck associated with the fact that these are very well constructed teams, but the fact that you didn't have an overweight stance on Saquon, you also just had to have the perfect combinations associated with here. But very intelligent, well constructed lineup with the early running back there, getting on some late wide receivers that were projecting better than were kind of ranked, and then you have a little game stack, little correlation there. I mean, it's just you gave yourself the opportunity to get there.
Yep. Yeah, this one does have that correlation where the other one doesn't for the game stack with Bowers. But it's funny you say that though, because I was more take a couple of receivers, especially early in the week, and then get the running back values later. Well, that was not the winning way to go this time, but it worked out. I'm not going to complain. It's the nice part about being able to mix up the portfolio.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Love it, Chad. We're going to do some hoop stuff. We've already been live for an hour. Glad you could make this work. Pop on through. You were one of the OG hoops guys in the community here. That's how you kind of buttered your bread initially on the platform here. Do we have any hoops takes for the people today?
There are way too many games today. I'm glad they broke the slate into 2. That's about what I've got for it. My hoops has not gone into full swing yet with concentrating on the Dawg Bowls, but I'll be there.
Well, yeah, you got 3 weeks now. You got 3 weeks now to do hoops.
I do. That is what I'm going to get all set up. And now the perfect thing is because I build my own projections. I think we've talked about that before. So I'm not using ETRs. I need to let enough games get in there for me to actually build them. So this is actually about the right time to jump into it. So
that's awesome, man. Yeah, I'd forgotten that for a moment, but I knew you did your own split stuff, and you were super dialed. Always in the chat with us when we were talking through stuff. You would put facts to our bro science all the time. So glad that you'll be putting the projections back together there. Chad, anything else you want to say before we send you on your way and say can't wait to see you in Dallas?
I'm grateful. Love the community. Thanks. It was good to get the congratulations and all that. It was a fun day.
Love it, man. Mad respect to you, Chad. You've been such a pivotal member of this community for so long, man. Well deserved.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. See ya.
Thanks, Chad.
Soon, buddy.
Always a pleasure.
Love it, man. Great day. Great day for the community there. Be remiss if we didn't go to the last lineup there. Give a shout out to Krutches, who ran so bad in that head-to-head that he just had to win a seat a different way. Big shouts to Krutches here, who took it down. That Gino, JSN, Henry, Ken Walker. So it was actually a Gino triple or Gino double, but with the running back instead of a pass catcher. Zay Flowers, guy you need, and then a one-off Mike Gesicki there. Shout out to Krutches, who we will be seeing in Dallas as well. Nez, we have gone quite long with the winner's circle today. I say we just forego reviewing our own portfolios, maybe save a little bit of that for tomorrow. Not much to see on my end. How about you?
40% Drake London in the Dawg Bowl. 40% Drake London across all drafts. 20% Puka Nakua. Let's get the hoops.
Yeah, let's talk about hoops.
Let's get to hoops, shall we?
We shall, but we got to do something first here. The chat is going on and on about well-deserved for Chad and how he's such a great guy. And then he comes in here and drops 10 Badge Bros membership, doubling down on the notion that he is one of the best in this community. Mad respect, Chad. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you for the badges. Not necessary, but very much appreciated.
Very appreciated.
All right, Nez, let's do some NBA here, where you and I have had some better fate. I clowned your ass on duping a winner on Friday night there, a 3-man dupe, and then I proceeded to have a 6-man dupe on the Saturday night there. So truly unbelievable. Oh, the thought leader here. The thought leader coming in.
There's not gonna be no memberships to give out.
We don't even have enough people. We got to go back to streaming on X as well, so more people are in here. Big shout out to the thought leader Pete, gifting out 50 Badge Bros memberships there. Mad respect to the king. All right, Nezzy.
Cool. Very cool. Thank you.
Yeah, very cool. I mean, it just speaks volumes about how this community just, is so supportive of one another, right? We're just two guys who started making a show and then thought, hey, wouldn't it be fun to just start inviting our friends on after they win? And then now it's become like a thing.
Well, it took a while for the friends to get involved, because for a while, just like whoever wins, we were searching. Well, you were searching high and low to find these people who won, and then it turned out, we know everybody who wins now, so it's great.
I used to be internet sleuthing the shit out of places to like go find.
I can't believe we even found Alan, like just a guy in 503 like that. Yeah. That was pretty impressive.
Shout out to Alan, the OG. He was the first ever winner's circle who won the battle 50K. Royale, the 50K, the first night or very first week one, and then oh man.
Funny. All right.
Mad respect to Pete. Mad respect to Chad there. I'm just pulling up the most recent. I was kind of filibustering for a second there. I was just pulling up the most recent NBA injury report here, Nez, which is always our starting point. Obviously, the Giannis Q tag, not created equal to other Q tags on the site, because the Giannis probable tag is effectively a Q tag, and the Giannis Q tag always tends to lean closer to the doubtful side than the probable side. With Giannis, he kind of has his own designation. That being said, I'm kind of treating it like he's in, which might just be a huge fish move, Nez. But just given like the way in which ADP looks at the top end of the spectrum, I do not see a ceiling in the first round outside of like, maybe you could make the case for like Tatum and Trey and that sort of thing to just not take Giannis and hope for the best.
Yeah, I have him ranked 3. So I
Okay.
feel like that's that's his ADP is about to be straight up 3.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't think that he's, like vibes based doubtful. I think he's truly questionable. This team is in a really bad spot. And while Giannis kind of like put out like a soft trade request to begin the season where he said, "Hey, if we don't win a ring, man, anything can happen. I might get traded." Like, buddy,
Good
you
reset, dude.
yeah, like he kind of just like asked for a trade. But also they need a win really, really badly. But if this is a true strain, if the strain is as bad as it sounds, I mean, he just straight up won't be able to play. But they need a win. So I'm taking him 3. Like I'm playing at volume. Bobby Portis will always be there. So if he doesn't go, there's your swaps.
Yeah. So that does put an interesting dynamic on the slate. I have not seen anyone take the scroll the F downs of Splash Mountain, of Bobby Portis, obviously no Chris Middleton as well. Is that someone you're mixing in your 6th round stuff here, or is it going to be swaps only?
Swaps only for me.
Okay.
You totally can. But
Yeah.
I think Giannis at 3, if I see that get like to the 18% mark, then I will either mix in a 6th round Bobby Poe or move Giannis behind my number 4 player. But for now, I'm just kind of keeping a close eye on what's happening with the field on that. But I feel like I got out a smidge ahead of the Tatum over Giannis stuff before the ADP converged.
Yeah, Chip with a good reset here. Like, got to get ahead of 6th round Russ before he becomes 6th round Russ. Like, that's he's making light of the fact of what took place on the weekend, but then also what's taking place on the later only slate there with Jamal Murray being out. That people and projections are going to push up Russ in a big way. If you push up Bobby Portis is still a 6th rounder without Giannis going tonight, correct?
ETR is going to tell you to take Bobby Portis in like the 4th round if Giannis doesn't play.
Okay. Yeah. Easy asking for those who may not happen to know. Splash Mountain is a reference to Brooke Lopez, who is a big who also shoots threes there. Okay. Nez, I don't think we should go like every single spot on here, like game by game necessarily, just because there's too much to dissect here. And a lot of it's not relevant to our player pool. So we'll just talk about it as it comes up relative to ADP. What are your thoughts there?
That works.
Okay. Back to the platform here. We will delete what I was autoing at the start there and walk through it here. Anthony Davis with the probable tag at the top here. Nez, no designation for LeBron James. And then we have D'Lo with a Q tag and Austin Reeves with a P tag. I hit my quota for the day. With a P tag at the back there. What are you doing with the Lakers outside of just, AD number 1?
I've got LeBron at ADP for sure. I've seen some people not deviate too far from that. Like LeBron is the 1-2 turn pick. Nobody is taking him ahead of Sabonis or Trey, and nobody is not taking LeBron at the 1-2 turn. So be mindful of your LeBron combos because LeBron Dame is the 101 of the 1-2 turn.
Okay.
And you can maybe do some different stuff there.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good shout there, just in terms of being mindful of the combos there. I think everybody now is kind of working towards getting Tatum over Giannis, a bit of a hedge there in terms of the Q tag. That's where you said you were at?
Yeah. Even if Giannis plays, man, give me Tatum against the Hawks without Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, no Jaylen Brown tonight. That's a certainty. Sam Hauser's coming back. Not that it really matters, but just in terms of usage stuff there. And then Derek White, who's readily available in the 5th or 6th round, looks like a pretty good pick there. He's actually pushing up higher than that. He basically goes in the 5th round every single time there. Any love for back end Celtics stuff like Drew or anything like that with the Jaylen Brown stuff gone?
Yeah. Derek White goes every draft as he should. I have a lot of Derek White. I think the 6th round in this slate is extremely flat. And so I'm like really worried about, because like I want mad volume in today, of course. Mm-hmm. I'm like not sure what to do about the 6th round. So I'm trying, you really have to micromanage these autos because like I don't want to be overweight anybody in the 6th round because I don't have a strong lean on who the play is. I think Drew is a really nice way to mix up the 6th round. He's not drafted very often. And, I think anybody can really step up and put points up without Jaylen Brown. I'm not going to do Peyton Pritchard, but like, hey man, Peyton Pritchard almost hit 30 minutes last game. I mean, I'm not going to draft.
I'm not
Peyton
saying,
Pritchard,
but I'm saying. I'm not saying, but I'm saying.
He's definitely fun, but
yeah. I mean, he's just rolled over. He would be so fun if he was playing on like the Blazers or something like that, and he was getting like 38 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe not Blazers, but Blazers have guard depth. But if you just picked like insert spot where he could play 35 a night and be primary handler.
I mean, let's call him a Celtic, and then let's also say Drew or Derek White gets rest on the same day Jaylen Brown does.
Right.
Like Peyton Pritchard on the Celtics with one of those guys resting would be in this matchup would be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, we're spending too much time talking about Peyton Pritchard. That's my fault. But
well, he had a really nice preseason. He carried it over into the regular season, and like he's just a fun, splashy, fill it up dude. So I mean, yeah. Anyways. Okay, we're not gonna take Shrew there. I gotta ask you, there's kind of like this next big clump. I think if Giannis doesn't go, or you draft as if Giannis doesn't go, where would you put Dame in this next group of the Sabonis, Trey, Braun, and then depending what models you're looking at, people like Brunson and pushing up Mitchell a little bit tonight because of the Wade Q tag and the LeVert Q tag and Milwaukee getting cooked by guards narrative. But what are you pushing up in this next kind of bracket?
If Giannis doesn't play, Trey will project as the number 3.
Okay.
And I meant Dame. I apologize. I think Dame will end up projecting better than all these guys.
Okay. Cleveland is playing. Sorry, as to why Cleveland is playing a bit faster this year. Like just in general, like Cleveland used to be like a defensive slog spot that we didn't want to attack, but like Cleveland is playing faster this year. Okay. Carry on.
And this Bucks without Giannis today is basically like Dame on the Blazers all over again, where it's like it's just him. Like this Bucks team sucks, and Dame will end up projecting like a monster. That said, man, the bro science in me says that this is such a trap Dame spot to like be overweight on.
I know,
but you kind of like it's so hard to like wave and fade a top 5 pick.
Right.
So that's where Dame is. That's where you're going to see people take Dame if Giannis is not playing.
With Giannis off the court, Dame is a 37% usage and 27% potential assist.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, like he played very poorly for like 2 games, then came back, cooked, put up like 60 fantasy points in a game in which Giannis also went off. 61 fantasy points there. And then now, and that was in this very same matchup against Cleveland. And now we potentially get it all over again.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll ask you, are we worried about Trey in terms of defense with the Boston matchup, or we just go, fuck it, it's Trey, just take him up there?
No, Trey's balling 41.5 PRA right now in the pick'em lobby. Okay. Him without DeJounte there like is just massive this season for fantasy. We had like a couple slates where people weren't quite understanding like the new Trey Young, but we're here.
How many points for potential assist? I don't know. Ask fucking Hallie. Ask Hallie, bitch. Oh man. Okay, yeah, that was pretty good. Okay, Sabonis, dude, he gets the BAM treatment tonight. The models have him a little bit lower than kind of like this next tier. People pushing up Trey, Braun, and Dame, and then Sabonis kind of mixing and matching throughout here. Are you trying to get over Sabonis, or are you falling in line with some of the projection stuff we're seeing?
I'm not doing the Sabonis fade, dude. Like, get out of here. with that. I mean, Sabonis, yeah, he can have some like sub 40 nights, but like he just is like a walking triple double.
Right.
So I'm not really trying to fade Sabonis as hard as the projections are.
Mhm.
That doesn't seem that doesn't seem good to me.
Okay. Sounds good to me, bro. I'm in lockstep with you there. I could see Braun pushing up over this tier. If we somehow get that probable tag downgraded for AD, keep an eye on the injury report in 7 minutes here. I think LeBron would be 4 for me. And this would kind of be how I would rank it. And I would be trying to get a little bit over LeBron, but that's, down the rabbit hole a little bit there. Next tier, Nez, that I'd ask you about, we saw the Jaw monster ceiling game on limited minutes, but he did get expanded a little bit up to 31 last time out. Any love for Jaw in this next area, or do we still think minutes restriction? Do we still think Brooklyn's a little better, man, than people thought coming into the year? I know you can cook Cam Thomas on one end there, but dealing with Claxton at the rim here, if his minutes get pushed up a little bit, isn't the best spot in the world for Ja. Where are you at on it?
I'm attacking Brooklyn on every slate. So
Okay.
I'm taking Ja. Even at 31, man, he can be so efficient when he's on that I think he really stands out as where he's at ADP.
Okay. Do you like Cat over him? We've seen a couple ceiling games from Cat. The models are liking Brunson a little bit in this Houston matchup. Or do you just like Ja at ADP right now?
No, I like Ja at ADP, and I like I had Brunson over Cat this morning.
Okay, why was that? Just because of the Jalen Green matchup or the Fred VanVleet matchup opposed to dealing with Shane Goat?
I mean, I think the Brunson outputs are pretty, like, his minutes weren't up to where I think they're going to be most of the time so far. And Cat, new teammate there. Mikal Bridges, new teammate there. I think there was just some gelling to take place with the Knicks. And we've got a 43 fantasy point pick'em for Jalen Brunson. That's one of the highest on this slate. So the pick'em lobby agrees that like Brunson season is coming. And I think Cat going over Brunson is just because the box scores are better. And I think that if you can ignore past performance, more often than not, you're going to get paid off in a big way.
Yeah. I mean, you and I slammed him on back-to-back slates there after his box score was down because we were like, man, he's just not shooting. And then all of a sudden he starts shooting, and guess what happens? Fantasy points follow, right? So yeah,
I had a lot of Cat that following slate, but I also had I had too much of somebody else that just bombed.
No, nobody remembers that part. Everybody knows you smashing Cat, dude. Way to go.
Thank you. Nice.
One of the few teams on a back-to-back tonight, because there is no front end back-to-back. It's just back end back-to-back. Cade Cunningham and Detroit. Their injury report just got filed and looks pretty clean for Detroit. Let me find it again. Still without Azar Thompson, and that's basically all we have to worry about. No Q tag on Cade, which is good. Are you pushing up Cade? Do you like Donovan Mitchell in this next tier? What do you like, Nez?
Yeah, man, we haven't had a lot of like hoop slates together to kind of discuss this, to discuss just like certain players.
Yeah.
Man, I wanted to put Cade like at pick 8 this morning, and I didn't, and now I wish I did. I don't know how high he's gonna like push up, but like Cade is really, really good. And the Pistons got, I mean, I don't want to say a lot better, but like they made some strong improvements, and they have like they're just like not that bad of a team. So I think the fact that they're not going to get as blown out quite as much this season. Plus, I think Cade is like very good. And the Lakers, I think, play fast. It's a really good spot, and Cade is playing like really good basketball. His PRA, I think, is 37. I just don't think people, and I say this, and as he's sitting with a 12.6 ADP, I still don't think people are over the getting burnt by Cade last season.
No, we're not. I'm still not.
Like,
talking to living proof.
Yeah, and like, dude, he's really really good.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna be overweight Cade like every slate until the community changes their tune.
This is where the potential assists start to matter, and it's noting the fact that all his supporting cast, like his handling role, is so strong. Jaden Ivey's cutting less into his handling role than he was last year, and then the potential assists associated with guys actually making buckets. This is one spot where I would say potential assists actually matter, because we kept citing it last year with Cade, but nobody else could make a bucket. Well, this year, now all of a sudden, we got Tobias Harris. You know, he other guys around him are making buckets, right?
It's a big help.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So Cade getting overweight there, which means you have him kind of like in your mind over this Knicks tier plus Donovan Mitchell.
I currently have him. Let's see. I think I'm at like 22% Cade. I've got him behind, right behind the Knicks. He's my first double-digit ADP, which isn't really saying much, but because I've been playing it safe with that. Like, I wish I had him higher, like I said, but I thought I could get a lot of them if I had him right behind the Knicks guys. That's where I have him right now. I need to do some portfolio analysis before I continue, because I did a lot of like autoing just to kind of see how I'm comparing to other folks. But that was like before ETR. So now that ETR is here, I need to completely reevaluate, because these prices change. Like, and you don't know what the real prices are until these robots come out and do what ETR tells them. And like, if you're just doing that, and I mean, they have really good projections. They do a really good job for our contests. If that's all you're doing, I just don't think that you're going to have a lot of success. I'm just saying. Yeah,
I mean, that's doubling down on exactly what HotSizauce said when he jumped on there. So yeah, well put. Angelina rolling through, asking who gifted a membership. That could have come from one of two spots. Big shout out to Chad for gifting out 10 there, and big shout to the thought leader Pete gifting out 50 there, and big shout out to you for earning your goat horns. Gave you a little shout off the top there. All right, cool. This one hurts my soul here. The price of bricks going up. I played the shit out of West Brick on Saturday night there. I played 56% in 110 lineups, and he did nothing. Oh, truly sick. All right, Nez. This next kind of like big ask ambiguous tier, in my estimation, I had Fox ahead here. I had Jalen Johnson a little bit ahead, and I was pushing up Sengun, man. I was pushing up with no, quote unquote true five there. I thought maybe we'd see a little bit of the Rockets returning to, they got their doors blown out twice, and then Sengun had bad run. He kind of got like soft benched. It wasn't a foul trouble thing. It wasn't anything. He just kind of got soft bench, and his box scores reflect it, kind of thing. If we get full minutes from him tonight against this Knicks team, I like it. That's where I'm at. So I was pushing him up over this grouping. What were you doing in this next kind of big clump?
Yeah, this is a plateau here. It's very, very flat. I got to see how much Sengun I ended up getting. I mean, it's not Jover for him. Like, didn't they just give him a shit ton of money? Like, he's a cornerstone piece. But what happened was Tari Eason is on their team, and he is fucking nice, and he balled out in that game that you're talking about. So they just like kept Tari Eason in, and I don't think that this is a trend. I just think this is something that happened. Now Tari Eason can ball. Yeah, you're gonna see more Tari Eason. I don't think that has to be at the expense of Sengun.
Yeah. I mean, maybe when they play the small ball lineup, but where they like run Jabari kind of like hybrid five kind of deal, maybe that makes a little sense there. But Tari's still ramping back up from the injury. Like, that was a huge minutes increase for him there. And maybe he was deserving of it because he clearly played well the previous two games. I watched the Dallas game there and was noticing a lot of Tari Eason late. They went to a small ball five lineup to close against Dallas for like a stretch there as well. So, yeah, there you go. So Cole saying, he said he really likes Jabari at the 5. That checks out, man. But there is a lot of overlap in terms of these rotations here with Houston. It is it is tough to know what they're going to run because last year they ran so much through that high side screen and roll handling stuff with like Fred VanVleet and Sengun, and the projection models are still telling us that they're going to do that, but they haven't done it this year. So this is a little bit of me like hoping and wish casting that it goes back to that, but I don't know, man. What side of the fence you on?
As far as
like, do you think they're going to go back to running the offense through those guys so Sengun's ADP is good or bad?
I mean, I'm not going to like read too much into the coach speak. Like Udoka, just because Udoka's saying that doesn't mean that he's going to bench him. I think that's just maybe him saying, "Hey, get in fucking shape, man," because like you're trying to play you, and you're pissing me off a little bit. I mean, never Fred, but Sengun. I'm not fading Sengun, man.
Right.
It's just not happening for me. I have him currently though, like behind Jaren Jackson.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I'm a Jaren Jackson stan.
I know. Well, he had a really nice one last time out. I don't know. Is this another spot where they can get away with playing small again tonight with no kind of true five on the Knicks right now without Mitchell Robinson out there, Jericho Sims minutes getting cut, like that sort of thing? Is this another spot? Because look at the last two lineups that they played small, and Tari Eason and Jabari Smith were out there more than Alfred Sengun. Is this another spot that they can play small?
I guess, but like, I don't know. I'm not really in the business of like predicting that. I'm just like looking like, okay, like can this guy have a ceiling, and against the Knicks, it's hard to say, but like the guys that go after him, I don't really feel comfortable taking over him. So
okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's enough on Alfred. That's it's a weird point of contention on the slate because if you project him for like 24 minutes, like he's not going to pop.
I would never do that. I would never do that. Like, okay. Yeah. That's not a projection. That's a wish casting.
It's wish casting. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, the only way it would be a projection is if they thought they're going to play small on small the same way they played small on small the last two games out. But I don't think we've learned enough to suggest that they will. I'm in lockstep with you there. Steph Curry went through shoot around. He rolled his ankle, then came back in the ball game, then rolled it again. Then it was announced that he would probably be a week, maybe multiple weeks after. And now they have a game against the Wiz tonight where he is a Q-tag. Wiz coming back from Mexico City, just to note maybe some of the travel, maybe that's relevant, maybe it's not. I have not been taking a ton of Steph or trying to avoid. I don't actually know what the robots ended up doing there, but the projections I imagine love him, but like I find it.
Robots.
Oh, my robots. Yeah, I don't know if they took him or not. I put him down at like 23 or something like that. Like Steph is obviously always going to out project that, but like in my mind, I'm just going like coming back from the ankle. It's at the Wiz. Like they've been running 11 deep before this. I can't give him more than 31 minutes in this spot. Could he still cook Jordan Poole and get 8 threes down? Absolutely, but it's not a spot on an 8-game slate that I want to slam.
I agree with you totally, but like I'm like, man, I don't really like Steph. And then I look at the guys that go behind him and I'm like, man, if I get 28 minutes of Steph Curry tonight, I could probably get 44 points out of it. Just because of the spot.
Is that enough to win an 8-game slate though?
I mean, given the players that go behind him, I'm thinking yes. I don't see a lot of 40, like strong chances of 40 points behind him. And for him, I do in this spot against the Wiz. But like, man, there's so many ways that the Steph can go wrong, right? Like I think I could see 28 points, fantasy points for Steph clear as day on this spot where, hey, he only plays 20 minutes because he is not playing a lot and the Warriors are deep. They rotate a lot. And I think they're going to beat the shit out of the Wizards. Like they've been beating the shit out of teams without Steph. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. So the Wiz, I just don't think have a shot in hell. And so there's just a lot of ways that the Steph projection, that's a long-winded way of me saying the Steph projection is extremely fragile. Yeah. But man, hard
agree
to
with you,
fade
man.
in volume.
Yeah, I agree with you there, but I will definitely try to be like underweight. Like you, obviously, you like Jaren Jackson Jr. I will mention about the Jaren Jackson Jr. matchup is that Brooklyn is all out of fives with the exception of Nick Claxton, and Nick Claxton hasn't been playing like full minutes here. But Noah Clowney's questionable tonight. Sharp's already out. Simmons is already out. They're one of the teams on the back-to-back there. So if you are liking that Jaren Jackson Jr. matchup against no backup fives in that rotation, basically putting him over makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I love Triple J today.
Okay.
31 minutes last time out, I believe.
Yeah.
Has the ability to find himself into like 5 stocks fairly easily.
Mhm.
And then, like I said, the Nets are just a team that I'm attacking at every slate. So
Love it. But asking what ETR is, it's a reference to Establish the Run, which is one of the market movers in terms of projections within this industry. Okay, Nez, are there baddies sitting courtside tonight for Jordan Poole to ball out against his old team and really stick it to Steve Kerr there?
this is tough because the PRA tells you that like he firmly belongs here. It's like 32.5.
Okay.
Like I don't like the spot against the Warriors.
Right.
So I've got a pretty decent fade on Jordan Poole at the moment.
All right. I respect it, dude. I mean, fading the pool party on any given night is probably going to be plus EV. I mean,
when he's this high, like
yeah.
I think so. Like usually, like when you want Jordan Poole is whenever like people are sleeping on him.
Yeah.
Not when he's like, oh, by the way, I'm going ahead of Jimmy Butler, Evan Mobley. So I feel comfortable fading Poole, but the projections are strong on the Poole party.
Yeah, I mean, like Blue Bully's handling rolls up a bit this year, and he's taking more shots. Bub Carrington, same thing. Like it just feels like, yeah, I know Kyle Kuzma's hurt right now, but if Poole doesn't put up like 30 and 8 in terms of assists, like he's running hot on stocks relative to his career stuff. He doesn't get boards. Like it's pretty hard. It's kind of like rich man's Cam Thomas in terms of price point. So why not just play Cam Thomas instead, who's 4 spots lower in ADP, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's a very fair comparison.
Okay. All right, let's talk about some of the Miami stuff there, Nez.
Yeah.
You alluded to Bam and Jimmy Buckets there. This is a pace up spot for them, which means it's a pace down spot for the Kings there. Do you like any of the Miami stuff? Hero goes in the 6th round as well. He's been pretty good on a per minute basis thus far to start the season. What do you like?
I do not like Bam today.
Okay.
I mean, sure, he can do well in this spot,
Mhm.
but this is strictly like, oh, he did well against the Wizards, and now
Okay.
we're back into top 20 territory for Bam. I don't think that the Kings are a slam dunk fantasy matchup for opposing teams. So I'm not doing Bam, but like the minutes are there. I just don't. I'm not doing Bam that high.
Okay.
So
yeah, no
thank you for me.
No love for the Sabonis's soft narrative, and he's going to rip a bunch of boards in his face.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Okay.
I disavow that the Kings are a fantastic fantasy matchup narrative.
Okay, sounds good to me, bro. Giddy has been downgraded to a probable tag. It was no designation prior to this. Giddy's ADP looks fake in my estimation. Like I would be taking Mobley, Derek White, Cam Thomas, this kind of whole grouping over him right now. Maybe that wouldn't reign true if he didn't have an illness and we didn't expect Zach LaVine to be playing through the Q tag tonight. But that's where my lean is right now. What do you feel about Giddy's ADP, Nez?
It's interesting because I was really, really in on Giddy a couple of nights ago. I ended up having success that night without Giddy. Somehow had like a team without him that ended up creeping up there. But I think this is an ADP that expects LaVine to sit. And even if he doesn't sit, I think Giddy can still find his way to a lot of success. So
Okay.
I'm taking Giddy. I'm mixing up him and Derek White, but I think Giddy before you get to that next range of players makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Giddy is extremely good for fantasy.
Okay, interesting. I was taking Josh Hart over him just in
Okay.
terms of like the minutes associated with it.
Okay.
I don't know if that's smart or not, but that's what I was doing just because it was like far more projectable. And the Bulls stuff, I was just kind of, I don't know, like I maybe this is me applying a different scenario to this situation that isn't directly applicable, but like I'm so burnt from like the Franz Wagner illness, probable tag, thought it was a good spot, and then we play him and he's like trying to play through illness and then doesn't play at all and just ruins all your lineups. I think I'd rather take shots on like Levine and Kobe White in the last round and then just take like Hart or Jalen Green or Jared Allen in this spot.
Yeah, I don't doubt. I mean, I don't fault you for doing that. I just think I like the spot for Giddy and I like Giddy for fantasy. So that's my contention. But you mentioned Jalen Green, right?
Yeah, as part of like the tier I was pushing up. Yeah.
Do you have a lot of Jalen Green right now? Because I just getting like Jalen Green in the 6th round all day, and I'm taking it.
Okay. I have run 54 of the main. There, we are going to find out in real time what the exposures look like. See if the robots are doing their jobs or not. I was doing the Levine stuff. So that was another kind of like double down.
That's not bad though.
Why I wasn't playing the Giddy stuff.
Yeah, I think what makes Levine, a lot of goon. Mm-hmm. Levine, I think, makes sense. Like good spot for Levine if he does play. I think Levine, for me, when I take Levine, is he's a free square, i.e., he keeps me on the clock because I don't know what to do in the 6th a lot of the time. So I think I don't expect him to play, and by taking Levine, it's like okay, I'm gonna swap him out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. Like stuff's gonna solidify itself over the course of the next 4 hours, and I'll be able to make a more concerted draft pick than current. And if Levine plays, I like it anyways. So I'm kind of like just fine with it.
Yeah, bit of a win-win.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I think this is where we really make our money here, Nez, in the back end here, because as you alluded to early at the top of the show there, it's crazy flat and people are falling into similar ownership patterns. I'm shocked that nobody is taking Utah pieces that are pushing people up over there. Maybe it's just because the rotation is too flat and nobody knows who to take other than Walker Kessler on any given night. But I think Collins should be in the mix back here. I think George should be in the mix back here without Lauri Markkanen, or assuming no Lauri Markkanen. He's got the doubtful tag right now, but he went halfway through shoot around and then pulled out early. It's back spasms, that sort of deal. But Dennis Schroeder's been cooking in recent memory. You could paint the Fred VanVleet narrative that
no, you can't.
Nope, it's Jover.
I mean, dude, he continues to go like in most drafts.
It's crazy.
So
right now, man. Yeah,
I'll do it when like he's not being taken in most drafts. But as long as that's the case, like you guys can have that.
Yeah.
Like Jalen Green has taken a step forward and is handling much more offensive usage. Like it's not his team, but like offensively, it's damn near his team.
Yeah.
And they just like it's just not being taken accounted for by people in their projections. Like I'm not saying Fred VanVleet will never have a good game. He will, and it's probably tonight. But I'm playing the game where everybody I know that is like has a similar edge to me is taking Fred VanVleet. I will be off of that.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. Rockets low key Utah light with the rotations. I agree with that, man.
like I think they're a good team. They just the results have not been there.
Yeah.
For the Rockets.
Who gives you a better chance to win tonight playing full minutes? Fred VanVleet or Reed Shepherd?
Probably VanVleet, right? I mean,
I don't know. I want Reed Shepherd to start getting run, dude. That's what I want.
Yeah, I know. He's like he's Houston Pritchard.
I guess, but with like more unknown and more untapped just because he's so young. 7 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes. Oh, classic. Oh, man. All right, Nez, what else do you like at the back end here? Some of the models will tell you Garland will look better if Dean Wade doesn't go and Levert doesn't go, just because there'll be more handling available and maybe a little less overlap between him and Donovan, because then he'll be running the second unit there. Tyler Hero, the models will tell you they kind of like. Austin Reeves will inevitably push up if we get D'Angelo Russell ruled out. Anything else to say? Back end stuff. Who you liking?
Yeah, Hero, I like, right?
Okay.
I'm not trying to say that the Kings are a bad matchup for fantasy. I just think that people see Kings on the opposing team's schedule and automatically give them the Wizards bump.
Mm-hmm.
Hero had one bad game, and now he's like out of the player pool. He's getting like 32 minutes a night, and he can shoot. He's like, the ceiling games are really hard to get from Hero, but you get good games from Hero a lot. So I think Hero going very much undrafted is a nice pick here. Austin Reeves, whether or not D'Angelo Russell goes, I think is a really good pick.
Okay.
I made my bed with Reeves in the crossover where I took him 4 out of 5 times. So that's where my Reeves exposure is getting in. I think if he plays 35 minutes against this Pistons team, you're likely getting a really good score from Austin Reeves. And the Lakers, man, have become like Knicks-esque with their rotations. Mm-hmm. So a lot of Austin Reeves against this Pistons team could be very, very fun. So the projections don't like it, and the PRA is not great for Mr. Reeves, but I like him, so I'm taking him.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good to me, man. The projections will like it even less so now that the new injury report's out and D'Angelo Russell has switched from a Q tag to a probable tag. Yeah. But I mean, you laid out the bull case perfectly there, where if there's one guy who's going to stay on the floor too for like no overlap a little bit late in the game there, it's going to be him. You know, they'll pull out AD, Braun, and D'Lo, and then he would kind of be left out there with that second unit to close, I would imagine. Okay, cool. There was one other spot I was just looking for real quick, and then I just kind of went brain dead and totally forgot. I was looking at the Heat. Jaime. Okay, we're good. Okay. All right. Yeah, anyone else on the scroll the F down variety here? We talked about the Utah stuff a little bit. We talked about Giroux earlier. Below Cole Ball, he's starting to shoot a little bit more, and he could fill it up in all cats. So I like it. I've taken him a couple times there. Jalen Duren on a back-to-back, but probably going to have to play big minutes. Going toe-to-toe with AD there could fall into a ugly double-double with maybe a little bit of stock upside. Anyone else that you want to scroll for, Nez?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to the models here who are absolutely in love with Kobe White today. And if there's no Zach LaVine, I think that is going to make Kobe White in every draft selection based on those projections. So if you want to get out ahead of that, Kobe White in the 6th round right now, I've already seen him go as soon as ETR came out. People put Kobe White in their top 36. So you can be one of those people as well. Okay.
I like it, dude. Another scroll the F down candidate, which is kind of interesting here. Marvin Bagley's out. Little Joe Val. They play small without Trace Jackson Davis out there. And, if you get Steph to push game environment a little bit, can we get Joe Val in the 6th round for the Wiz?
Not for me, but I do like the call.
Okay. Trying to think some more gal brain ones down here. Any love for any Warriors player if Steph doesn't go?
they're just so deep. But like,
Yeah.
hey man, if there's any Jonathan Kuminga night, I mean, against the Wizards, I could see him having a sick game. But like, I'm gonna trust what Kerr is telling us, which is that he hates Jonathan Kuminga, and that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But man, this is a
Yeah.
good spot. It's almost like is Kuminga a better play if Steph plays? Because like, will they play together more? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know anymore, man. I don't know what to ever expect from Kerr's rotation. I guess the one saving grace is we will probably know slightly earlier than usual because it's an East Coast game.
I mean, dude, it's like
Yeah.
it's like a meme for Steve Kerr to talk about how deep their rotation is and how selfless everybody is. I mean, it sucks for us.
Yeah. Okay. This one I was saving because I was looking at the chat here and everybody wants to talk about it. Our guy, Juice McCaffrey, dropping by saying never Bridges. Just chiming in the chat here. Lewis Bennett, good player as well, saying Mikal Bridges, Goblin Mask, calling his name again. Someone save me. What do we think about the Mikal Bridges spot tonight, just in general?
I mean, I don't think it's like a fantastic spot, but Mikal Bridges is playing a approximate shit ton of minutes every single night. So yeah, that's going to be good. If there's ever a guy playing like 35 plus minutes a night, chances are he's worth drafting. So
Yeah.
he hasn't. I mean, dude, he's been quietly fine. You know, like flirting with 40 most nights. He's been running like really hot on stocks. So like that's always like tough to bet on, right? That this guy's going to continue to have 4 stocks a night, but he's really good at defense. So I mean, you can kind of say that.
Yeah.
He's a mix-in for me.
Okay. Do you like him or Hart better because they go in the same range?
I've been doing Hart, but
Okay. Yeah, so
just
far.
because like I'm like, you know, tie breaking with the PRA, Hart has a 2.5 you know, advantage on him, and Hart still finds himself to similar stocks. So
What's Hart's PRA tonight?
27.
Yeah, that's so low for a guy that goes so consistently.
They're all pretty low back here, other than like Cam Thomas, but like a Cam Thomas 32 is a Josh Hart 27 for fantasy. So
Yeah. That's so true. That's so true. Okay. All right. I like it. Anyone else at the back end that you want to say so that we can look smart and or dumb in the future here?
No, I think we've spent a lot of time back here. It's pretty obvious that this is there's not a lot of like super obvious picks here. You know, just for full transparency, you know, we've talked about it. I have a lot of Jalen Green right now, and I anticipate I'm going to continue to have a lot of Jalen Green.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you like the Jalen Green being kind of like solidified in his new role there, and he just had one bad shooting night.
Yeah, that is the thesis. I had way too much Jalen Green that night, so you know, people were waiting for that one game to have a reason to fade Mr. Green.
Cool. All right, we got about 130 of us hanging out still here as we hop in an NBA draft. Long show thus far, 145 already here, and we haven't even touched on the second slate. Probably do 2 of these drafts, and then maybe do just a absolute 5-minute rapid fire of Nez's favorite plays on the last late slate. I haven't even looked at it yet there. But yeah, anything you want to say on like the late slate as we go there, Nez?
I mean, it's way more fun than the main slate, but obviously.
Oh no. Okay, maybe we got to do a little something then. Okay, maybe we'll skip the second draft and we'll do a little something on the late one there. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. If there's a choice, we should talk about the late slate a little bit before it starts to get the weather starts to turn on me over here.
Okay, sounds good, dude. Do us a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and give a shout out to Chad and or Pete if you were the recipient of a membership today. Mad love, mad respect from both of them for gifting them out to the community like that. Shout out to The Wood. Steve here in the one slot there has created a very cool website for sweating along. I will find the URL and share it in the chat there for everyone.
Just McCaffrey talking about a Şengün situation. I think we did talk about what you're referring to, unless there's like something else here, which is just like, the coaching decision for
Yeah.
Şengün. Yeah, we spent a lot of time on Şengün.
Yeah, coaching decision to play small in recent weeks. Some talk about him not being in full condition, shape, blah blah blah. Sabonis for you, Nez. What do you like?
I've been doing Sabonis.
Okay.
I proudly claimed that nobody's doing Sabonis over or LeBron over Sabonis, and then we got a screenshot in our Discord of somebody taking LeBron over Sabonis. But yeah, I need to see that a few more times before I do it regularly.
Yeah, I mean, we joke so much that like how Sabonis is just like a stat padding merchant and stuff like that. But I think the Bam matchup isn't the greatest thing in the world for him. So you could twist my arm into taking Dame over him if we end up with no Giannis, and you could twist my arm into LeBron over him with all the probable tags and stuff like that. But I don't know. With everybody's healthy, I still would rather take Sabonis than LeBron right now. Who do you like next, Nez?
Well, I like it's tough. It's Dame or Ja for me.
All right. Let's do Dame.
Oh.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, like I don't have like clear-cut answers necessarily. It's hard. Like I'm way more paralyzed by ADP than I have been in slates past.
Oh, interesting.
On this one. Yeah, because like I don't have like super strong stances on these guys. I think they're all projecting very similarly for me, and it makes it tough. It makes you want to just like not get overweight. So that leads me to doing more ADP.
Okay. I just dropped that in the chat there. He's created a little profit tracking app, particularly for hoops, and it creates a really fun sweat companion if you're watching the games at night, because it's a live updating leaderboard. All you got to do is just make a login. It just helps him track usage on the site. He doesn't use your information for anything there. Steph pushing up to 14 in this one there. We didn't really talk about Vooch at all yet. Jalen Johnson goes there, and we kind of have this evergreen decision here with Şengün, DeRozan. Do you want to pair teammates? Do you want to play Bam, Poole, Jaren Jackson Jr.? What do you like, Nez?
Well, I mean, I've been doing DeRozan.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
Okay.
I mean, for me, it's like, okay, I'll take the guy that's playing like 38 minutes, and has been pretty decent for fantasy.
Okay.
Like, I don't have a super great feel for this for these like guys. Like I said, they're all really, really similar for me.
Okay. Well, if we do, now this is my bro science. If we do 2 sack pieces like that, I usually try and tack on one of these Miami pieces to do that, but I'll listen to you, whoever you want.
Let's take Bam.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of think like as soon as I double up on teammates, and this might be just like fish thought because we saw it play out completely differently with the Bucks 2 slates ago, I guess, when T-Box was up at the top for a bit there, where it's like you can get home with $2 and no bring back kind of deal. Like he had Dame and Giannis in a bunch of lineups that were at the top of the leaderboard there. For me, whatever reason, like my mind just doesn't work that way, where I'm like, if I take 2 pieces of that Sacramento and I'm betting so heavily on that game in a 6-person lineup, like I probably want a Miami piece. Do I not? Like this is implying some form of back and forth, some form of pace up, some form of they all play tons of minutes. Do they not? Because I don't see a way in which Sabonis and DeRozan are optimal on this slate without them playing like 38. So that means it's got to be close, right?
I mean, I think that checks out.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to do it every single time, but it definitely checks out.
Yeah. Just like, McCaffrey asking the evergreen question of like the replacement before other people swap. Yeah, it's smart. We talked about it a little bit earlier. He'll project better than a 6th round pick if and when he does get ruled in and Giannis gets ruled out. So yeah, I mean, for a subset of your lineups, just do it. But I mean, the problem is the variance in it is you're either creating a lineup that's worth $8 or a lineup that's worth 0, right? It's like you can't win with Bobby Portis if Giannis plays. So yeah. All right, Nez, who do you like next?
Josh Hart, Jared Allen, Schroeder. Let's do Schroeder.
Okay, fine.
What do you want to do?
Oh, we got to do it for the bit after everybody says no.
Mikhail? All right.
We got to do it for the bit.
Go ahead. Do it for the bit.
We got to do it for the bit. We got to get Mikhail on a roster here. We got to get Bridges. Never Bridges night. Tonight, Bridges night. Can we call it, Nez?
It's Bridges night.
It's Bridges night. Looking at T. Pastala, he has jammed the ETR stuff, doing Cade on this side of the board, jamming JJJ and Poole, and then pushing up Kobe White and Kuminga. That is
whoa.
That is a getting ahead of the projections move there. Nez, who do you like? You wanted to still go with Schroeder here?
Yeah, I think this is a decent spot for Schroeder. He's playing a ton of minutes. Like I was fading Schroeder like every single slate. And now I'm just like giving in to his role on this Nets team. And the Grizz are a team that I do try to attack a little bit as well.
All right, checks out to me, dude. We got Boner, we got Dame, we got DeMar DeRozan, we got Bam in there, we got Never Bridges, and we got Dennis Schroeder. Hopefully, big handling role and a couple stocks tonight there. All right, Nez, let's go back to the drafts here. I got a piss so gosh damn bad, like an absolute racehorse right now. Can you just give me a couple takes on the late slate, and then we'll draft it and call it here?
Absolutely. Yeah, shout out to Underdog for splitting up these slates and not giving us a 15-game slate. That was extremely, extremely sharp. I appreciate that. Everybody else appreciates that. We got a nice clean sweat on the first slate. Late slate time, though. I think this is the more fun of the two. I mean, you're looking at Jokic, Doncic, Wemby, Shea. So, you know, it's pretty obvious as to why that would be my opinion. This is, like I said, it's fun. And Zion now at a 15 ADP. He was at like 18 or 19. So I got a lot of Zion before the projections came out because this just happens. Zion misses a game and he's in a fantastic spot. And now all of a sudden, like, oh, yeah, Zion just finds his way into the 3-4 turn. And it's very funny to me because he is quickly going to become a 2-3 turn pick in every single draft. And I've got a lot of Zion, so my bags are packed. Comment here from Nick Pam. Hey, Nez, will RJ score 50 fantasy points again? Thanks. Yeah, he will, actually. Because once a Nick, always a Nick. Welcome back, John.
Dude, when you said welcome back, John, like your voice didn't even go, like obviously I have the headphones in, but then the Google Home was like, how can I help? That was so strange.
Ew.
That's so sketch. Oh man. Okay, what'd you hit on in terms of I guess the big one is what we're doing with Russ on this slate, kind of similar to the other night, and what we're doing.
I didn't get that deep, man. I just, I was just like, this is a fun slate, a lot of stars, and Zion ADP opening up egregious is just evergreen at this point. And it's just hilarious to me. I've got like 33% Zion.
Okay. Yeah. And you think he goes tonight with the Q tag?
Well, I hope he goes. I mean, it's not even, it's just like out of principle. It's like, if he goes, you are getting a smash at the beginning of drafts. Like, people just do not take him until ETR reminds them that this guy projects to top 10 player, and then people start to take him high. It's just like, it's the most obvious game every single time Zion opens up poorly on a slate. You just slam him. So I did that. And now that he's going super high, I probably will back off. I pack my bags. We're good.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Jordan Hawkins with the Q tag there as well. DeJounte's out. CJ McCollum's out. Trey Murphy's out. Herb Jones is out. And then Zion listed with right thigh soreness with the Q tag there. That rotation is quite thin. And Hawkins played a lot of minutes the other night too. So yeah, that's we're gonna find some value there in terms of either he's gonna play a shit ton and he's gonna have a nice handling role and we're gonna get point Zion, or you're gonna get a fun swap anyways.
Yeah, fun is highly subjective, but you will get a swap if he does not play.
Yeah. I think a couple other spots to talk through. Nez, obviously Orlando is decimated without the Paulo stuff, and Suggs has kind of like been playing his heart out and shooting over his stock ceiling. I guess that was poor phrasing, not shooting associated, but has been like a little bit of a stock merchant here. So I'd ask you about the Franz Suggs situation. And then Paul George tonight. Can we touch him, dude? Or do we think it's minutes cap? We think it's like 25, 28, that sort of deal.
I mean, I think the minutes are capped for Paul George, but like, this is another situation. Like, look at the guys that go behind him. And there's few guys that I would take over him. I mean, Chris Paul has been like balling out of control, but the PRA today is 22.5. I would just continue to take Chris Paul around ADP. Projections don't like it. They're more in line with the PRA. But the Clippers, man, the Clippers are a fantastic fantasy matchup for opposing teams. Chris Paul has been a big part of this team. I mean, I would just draft Chris Paul and or take a higher on his PRA personally. Okay. I just think he's playing good basketball and he's playing 30 plus minutes. And John, I mean, no Pop tonight, which you could say, hey, that's a negative. These guys are going to ball out for Pop, don't you think?
No Pop tonight. That means Wemby's unlocked 36 minutes. They don't know how to run the rotation.
That's probably what it really means, right?
They don't know how to run the rotation without Pop. And they just go, yo, Wemby, just get out there and do your thing, man. We're going to show old balls Pop what's up here.
But really, though, I think the one player that I would take over Paul George is Russ.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's going to kind of be like the staple there. I mean, Russ kind of fell flat despite starting the other night, but Michael Porter Jr. shot the lights out to start that ball game there. But Russ closed the previous game and then starts the next one, plays 31, had a little bit of overlap. He stayed in the longest in the garbage time, in quotations, garbage time stuff. So you see Michael Porter Jr. comes out with the starters there, played 29, and then Russ stayed in just like a little bit longer. So I think you just gotta trust it, and it's West Brick night, is it not?
Maybe not West Brick tonight, but no, I mean, dude, this is the Raptors are just a spot that there's a lot of spots I feel like right now in the NBA that you just really hone in on and press. Teams against the Raptors is like a no-brainer. Yeah. And we're getting a ton of run out of these Nuggets starters.
Okay. Any other spots that were jumping out to you that you were like heavily overweight, or anything at the back end that you want to get overweight right now? I guess the other big Q tag is Gobert as well. If Gobert doesn't go, do we push up Naz Reid? Do we jam Naz Reid? Any of that stuff?
If Gobert doesn't go, Naz Reid is a smash.
Okay.
He's
do you think he starts?
Smash. Yeah.
Okay.
Who do you think would start instead?
I don't know. I think he'd start. I think you're right. I don't know. I was just thinking through it on the fly there. Gobert doesn't start. I think he'd have to. I don't know. Who else? Yeah, they're not going to like do some weird ass 5 stuff. Who's the other 5 on the team? Luka Garza? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, no, yeah. It's Nas.
Yeah,
the other one, I mean, there's like some really good 6-rounders that don't go drafted every time. Like Andre Drummond is a 6-rounder.
Okay. Yeah.
2 nights ago, we're taking Andre Drummond like 18th overall against the Suns.
Yeah.
Like every time he's going in the 4th round. And and now like a wing is back. So we discount like
right.
To me, this is a classic flop lag spot, I feel like, on Drummond.
Okay. So Drummond late still has the same kind of like ceiling potential. Chat asking about Anthony Simons tonight without, all those pieces on the Pelicans we talked about being depleted there. Do we think there's enough of a handling and usage role for him this evening?
It's tough to trust, but I'm taking Simons, I believe. Wait, where is it? What's Simons?
He's 23
ADP?
right now.
Do I have like no Blazers? Am I looking at the right slate?
you left the Blazers out? Oh no.
No, I'm looking at the wrong slate.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got 12% Simons, so like
Okay.
not in love with it. Yeah, I need to get more Ayton in this spot, I think, too. I don't have a lot of Ayton yet.
Yeah, I mean the counter to all the Pels stuff is playing Portland, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the counter to them having, not a ton of backup 5 run, like the use Missy again at the 5.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of promising rookie there, but they're also without well, I guess they probably wouldn't have started. They probably do they start Daniel Theis or they start Missy tonight if we kind of get what we're anticipating.
My answer would just be whoever they started the previous night, and I'm not sure who that was. I kind of jammed in that slate at the very last minute.
Okay.
So
either way, I don't think it makes like Ayton look like terrible, but it is like one of the lowest implied total games on the slate.
Yeah, like I don't feel great about it. It's just like they started Misi, by the way.
Yeah.
It was just like I think Ayton's gonna probably have like a 45-point game at some point. He just runs hot on blocks, like that. There it is.
Okay, cool. Anyone else that is of interest on the back end to talk through here?
Well, sort of Grady Dick. I have I think way more Grady Dick than most people. 30 he's gonna play 30 minutes. Really enough said, gets enough work that I think it can work out pretty well. Sohan. I like Sohan tonight against the Clips. And I've been doing a little Norm Powell as well.
Okay. Yeah, Norm Powell, just a classic fill it up guy. And the nights he doesn't fill it up, he doesn't score well. But the nights in which he does, you get what we got, 2 of the last 3 games kind of deal.
Exactly.
Beautiful. More gifted up memberships today. Shout out to our motocross aficionado, Devin Davis there.
Shout out Davis.
There you go.
What a guy. Thank you, man.
There you go. Evergreen. Receive a gifted one, gift a gifted one. Appreciate you. Love it. All right, Nez, let's hop in the lobbies here and draft the late slate. And then, yeah, feels good. 50K for the
nice long show here.
Yeah, 50K for the late slate. Just tons of money up for grabs in hoops tonight. Like 200 and something K in terms of what's available.
Yeah, Monday night is feeling fast. Got like an hour and a half left on that. It's 63% full. Yeah, this is an awesome night.
Yeah, it is. Man, shout out to this one I wanted to say when we started hoops. Shout out to Hope and Numi there. Hopefully Hope's feeling a little bit better there. I know she had some time off last week. There wasn't had some health stuff under the weather there, but hopefully they're back at it this week. And they were absolutely cooking on this one as to split up the slates, 8 and 7, perfect sizing for both of them, and then to get 100K in the front end and 50 on the back end and drop them at the same time was really sharp, opposed to doing a main slate and then a dad kind of thing.
Yeah, this was the move. It's a super fun slate, as you can see. So I think it made a lot of sense.
Did I remind everyone that I dropped the link to that profit tracker one if you guys want to sign up in the chat there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, Nez, Harden up at 3. Nice. His role has been, man, it's been a 2.5-man game for the Clippers thus far. Harden, Zubac, and then Powell if he scores or not, and that's it. So I get it, but would you be taking him over Wemby and SGA?
No, I would take
Okay.
Wemby.
You take Wemby here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we have seen the ups and downs, the peaks and valleys that is Wemby, the stock monster, and when he gets minutes and doesn't, because he either breaks a slate or he's irrelevant and sinks your lineups on the slate. He is peak binary outcome thus far this season. Maxey comes back to us here. Nez, is that a line in the sand for you, or do you like some of these other pieces behind?
I've been doing Maxey,
Okay.
but you could probably talk yourself into KD if you wanted to.
Any potential that I mean, you can go spin zone on both those spots. Looks like Beal will come back and play his 35 again tonight. He's got the Q tag right now, but you can spin zone both of these in terms of like how much does Paul George cut into the Maxey handling and usage. Like he was jacking up shots before George comes back here. Do we think we still see that tonight?
Well, I mean, you're probably not getting full minutes from George anyhow, so
okay.
Yeah.
Not concerned. Just thinking how they both oh wow. Okay, Chris Paul goes at 15. We were talking about him as a later guy there. We get Hallie to fall back to us. I mean, never Hallie, but I think you got to take Hallie here, no?
I think just for the combo's sake, you do, but
okay.
I like Kyrie.
You like Kyrie over Hallie tonight, like just in general?
Yeah.
Good spot to score.
Who's his first two picks?
Harden, RJ Barrett, and Chris Paul. Switching it up.
What the hell is going on there?
Don't know. All right, Nez, we can do teammates in Siakam. We can do J-Dub in this Orlando matchup that doesn't look great. I think I would throw my hat in the ring for Simons or Siakam, but I'm open.
Yeah, this is Siakam for me.
Siakam's a tier break for you?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I have Siakam over Zubac and Pirtle.
Okay. Zubac and Pirtle go at 19 and 20, so you got him kind of up in that Kyrie tier alongside. Pascal's been playing some really nice ball in recent memory.
Yeah, I'm like kind of shocked that he's not going around those guys or ahead of those guys, but that will be my leverage point, I suppose.
Yeah, okay. I respect it. Chip saying Norm get a rebound, assist, or stock challenge. Yeah, I mean that's how I feel every single time I click his name. Like that's how I feel all the damn time, man.
So this is a relatively normal draft after that. Like you just must love the Spurs tonight, I guess. Okay.
Yeah. Westbrook already went, Nez. I was thinking about Westbrook here.
Wow.
What do you think about? I don't think we should do another pacer. Michael Porter Jr. or Paul George?
I just do Paul George.
We are not scrolling at all in this one. Paul George does feel like a name that like just down here shouldn't be down here. But that being said, if he only plays 25 minutes tonight or 23 minutes, I would not be shocked. Michael Porter Jr. goes next. Gobert, people are drafting as if he's going to play. Miles Turner, Ayton, and then this would be your Grady Dick pick that you said you liked. I would vote Drummond, though.
Yeah, let's go Drummond.
I kind of like the correlation between... I mean, man, is 376ers too much?
I don't think so. Like, Drummond isn't... Like Drummond getting there is not at any negative benefit, I don't think, to Maxey and George, right? Drummond getting there is like 17 boards and 4
yes,
stocks.
Please.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's not a detriment to Maxey or Paul George, in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe it's a good thing. They brick a couple and then they get it back to them, and then they ice a couple, then they brick a couple more. It's the infinite loop, the cycle of when you're sweating the game in that last game and you're sweating it. You just want to see a couple bricks, then you want to see them go down.
So it's a hedge.
Yeah, I guess so. Free Gordon for A-Wins Robots here. Gordon at 35 there. We saw a ceiling game from I'm laughing at Nick's comment here. I'll bring up in a second. Yeah, that's we saw a ceiling game from Gordon a couple times out again there. Nick with I love when someone does something super weird in these drafts. John drops the flipping a board or switching it up, which means don't cancel this to me.
I mean, I don't think that's worth a cancel for sure, right? Like,
no, I don't think it's a cancelable offense, but yeah. Yeah, interesting to see BI going, nice and high here. Zion getting treated by Awin as if he is in, so he's going at 11 now, which means the CLV of your early Zion teams are going to look pretty nice there. Nez, Westbrook already up in the 4th round, which is interesting. I would think I would be Franz over Suggs tonight. Suggs just kind of running hot in terms of shooting and stocks. I like the Franz stuff, but yeah. Anything else to be said on the late slate?
No, it's a lot of fun, and yeah, we'll see if Zion plays or not. It will be a lot of fun if Zion does play.
It'll be a lot of fun. Who are you swapping to if Zion doesn't go? Jose Alvarado, Jordan Hawkins. They both don't go in this one. Missy. Who's the Baylor kid, right?
I forget what school he went to. I'll need to take a look at that, but probably a Pelican. But I'll need to take a closer look at that.
Okay. What's you got? Were you worried outside your window there, weather-wise? What's happening out there?
Just some severe weather. A lot of wind going on right now.
Gotcha. You're big weather, bro. You're scared right now. You Roth or what? Orange rating.
I'm trying to make sure my power's not going to go out.
Oh, I got you. Okay, cool. PBR Tyler saying that he is going to Wolves Hornets tonight, which means it is Nas Reed Masterclass incoming. Yes, please. Yes, please. Eggers saying yes, it was Baylor. All right, great show. 3 winner circles off the top. That is a new show record. Also, in terms of gifted memberships, a new show record. The previous record was, I believe, 58. And today we had 61 gifted out. The thought leader himself and guest at the front end, if you missed the beginning of the show, Pete giving us some insight onto his thoughts. He was then followed by HotSizauce, who gave us a nice breakdown, a little bit of his process there. And then recurring guest, Chad, who also gifted out 10 memberships. Mad respect there. And then Devin Davis, our resident motocross expert, jumping in with 1 gift out as well. Mad respect. Much love to you guys. Thank you so much. Best of luck in the hoop streets tonight. Definitive preview will be tomorrow. The app will be going through maintenance as of Tuesday, 8 a.m. Eastern time. So we'll not be able to draft then. But then as soon as maintenance is done, then contests will start dropping, and the football ones for week 10 will start drafting, or will be able to be drafted. So we will do the preview, and then hopefully we will do some drafting pending the state of the site, but we will still be here tomorrow. Anything else to add, Nez?
No, very well said. And I'll see you guys in these hoops lobbies. Best of luck.
Love it, man. Best of luck to everybody. Hopefully we carry on this winning tradition that we saw over the weekend. There, cheese always getting in the late one. This is the latest cheese we have ever had, but what up?
Very late cheese.
Very late cheese. Love it. Yeah, stay safe out there if it is rainy and wild in the Big D today. Eggers and Nez. And yes, thank you guys. Thank you for the kind words. Great show today. We will be back tomorrow. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace. Good luck tonight.